Appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. That honestly, like I was really, really trying to I was trying to make it, man. I was trying to make it. I was scratching and surviving, man, and it didn't work out for me. So let me go ahead and test the YouTubes and see if that check the levels on there, see if that's working. Because God forbid, man, I'll get this shit started and that shit be crackling for no fucking reason at all. Um, Other than that, the topics that we're going to talk about, because this shit is being recorded on YouTube, is Sony's hybrid exclusivity. I feel like we need to talk about it at this point in time because you see this on YouTube a lot. Not YouTube, I'm sorry. You see this on Twitter a lot, like a lot, where everybody is on that bullshit. They want to, and I was talking to Ken about this shit too. One of the things that Ken says, we were just talking about it. It was like, perfect. It works. Me and Ken was talking about this shit, right? And basically we were like, yo, it's funny how people they care about Sony putting their stuff on other platforms, not because of the integrity of the actual IPs. It has nothing to do with that. It's literally like the winning argument on Twitter. That's what it really boiled down to. You know what I mean? So once Sony started to deconstruct this narrative, you need to start looking at them as a company and what was possibly going to happen in the future. And I think, and you've spoken to this effect as well about how this is going to go, there are some games that's going to be day and date. One of the first is probably going to be The Last of Us, factions too. And it's going to be free to play, especially the type of shit that they were saying nowadays with this games as a service. So that's one of the topics that we're going to be talking about. The second topic is we're going to be talking about this motherfucking dude. What's his name again? His name is Adam Conover. Conover. Motherfucker don't know what the fuck he talking about. That's just basically what it is. So, but just it's funny how the media paints the picture when you are a market leader, or at least when it comes to Sony for some reason. Everybody was championing Microsoft for acquiring a whole fucking, basically a country worth of fucking money, just for Activision. And then the second, Sony picked up Bungie. Now everybody's worried about it. Oh, ooh. I don't know, man. This could be bad for the industry, nigga. You championed this when you was champion a game. What do you call it? Game Pass. That's what it was. Motherfuckers clapping like seals. Now that shit is now they're kind of gobbling up people so they can have service stuff for their service. This is the byproduct of the shit. So we will talk about that shit later. I don't want to waste any of the time. I know you a busy man, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out and really.
Come on, nigga, nigga, what the fuck, nigga, you a round table nigga. The fuck up.
I gotta do better. I gotta do better with that round table shit too, man.
Yeah, nigga, nah, round table come, y'all niggas come when we all do what we do. There ain't no schedule for the round table. There ain't no time, like if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. But you ain't gotta thank me for being here, nigga. How many years we been podcasting together?
Shit, that's what I'm talking about. Niggas for life. Let me stop. Anyway, we're going to start the topic here about Sony's hybrid exclusivity. I was at my friend's house today, and he tried to put me on to, what is it, Rogue? What was it, Rogue Company. Thanks.
No, Lord.
He was on that Rogue Company bullshit. And I'm like, bro, ain't nobody trying to put. And I started looking at the game. I said, how much you pay for this? He said, well, it's free to play. I said, it's free to play. I said, well, all this? I said, I bet you that shit play to win, isn't it? He was like, nah, you just buy the skins. I said, you don't buy weapons? Nah. I said, say word. Ain't no way. Games as a service gets such a bad rep. Like, people are knee jerk. I'm not saying that is a good thing, but people are so knee jerk when it comes to this shit. They're too hyper with this shit. Like, oh, it's bad. And the funny thing is, the numbers don't lie. A lot of people play this shit. And this is a good alternative for people that can't buy full-fledged fucking games either. It's a really good alternative. And on top of
Well,
go on, man. Go on.
I was gonna say, well, when it comes to free to play games, or games as a service, I mean, even exclusives can be games as a
Right.
service. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But like we had the same problem with EA. EA was the first one to talk about games as a service being the future years ago, back in the beginning of the PS4 era. And we here right now. It's the same company who did the DLC thing, and everybody had a problem with DLC. Now everybody wants DLC. Um, it's I see free to play as being a problem when your game originally wasn't free to play.
You talking about
That
like
means
Halo?
you're taking something away, like kind of like Halo, or even how the Last of Us 2 might be, to
Or
where
what was that game? Shadow of War.
when Shadow War, what did that turn free to play?
No, it
But
was
just
my bad. It
I
wasn't
mean
free
I
to
mean
play, but
even Destiny
yeah,
Destiny went free to play. PUBG went free to play, but these were already service games to begin with. Destiny was always a service game. It gave you a piece of a fucking chapter. You wait for the fucking DLC or whatever the fuck, right? It always felt like okay, some teamwork shit. You buy some colors, in order to advance, you pay to advance, right? You don't it's free to play, so you can play it for free. But if you want to advance or be different or get the things that you normally would earn, you're paying shit instead of earning to get. I mean, to play and to earn, you're basically playing to play. I mean, paying to play with different to make yourself differential, not to look like the nigga on 2K that's wearing all brown. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I mean, there's goods and bads with it. I think there's different genres that fit
The
with it.
fault ass nigga.
I can't do it. Like RPG, like that one RPG. What's that shit called? God, I always forget what it's called, but it's from China. That's big as fuck on cell phones.
you're talking about Genshin Impact.
Genshin. I
Yeah,
was looking at Genshin. I'm an RPG nigga, and I like Zelda. I'm like, oh hell yeah! I even downloaded this shit. But once I found out it was like a service free to play game, I'm like, no, I uninstalled it immediately because I like in RPG you gotta have closure, and all they're gonna do is keep finding reasons for me to keep playing. So it goes mission by mission, and it's just not an RPG because RPG needs a story or whatever. That's how I feel about it. So I don't see a problem with free to play because it's a genre that should be there if it's going to be there. If they're going to continue to make new genres and new ways. These companies are finding different ways to make money, and these free to play games are the biggest money makers in gaming right now. So it's ironic that it's called free to play, but they use free to play to put the word free in there to make it more attractive and make people feel like there's no barrier of entry, which there isn't. But there's a barrier of like basically they want you to see other people and you be like, damn, that look cool. I'm
there's
gonna
a
do something better than that. Then I'm gonna buy some shit, and that's how that shit goes.
there's a cap to it. Like you could jump in for free, but you don't get access to everything. Like you got to start paying for
Mm-hmm.
all the shit that your friends have and all that type
Mm-hmm.
of.
That's why it's
There-
multiplayer.
There's a
That's why.
definite right and way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was making sure. I'm sorry. I was making sure that shit. But you gotta check up on this fucking YouTube shit. Anyway, there's a right way and wrong way of doing it. Now, the reason why the title is called hybrid exclusivity is because I think what Sony is trying to apply, and just to me, it almost I saw a glimmer of this shit when I did see Road Company. Because you can have a full-fledged ass game. And don't forget, Sony was one of the first people to monetize games as a service.
Uh-huh.
They monetized that shit all the way back in 2007. You want to know what it is? It was
What?
fucking PlayStation Home.
Mm-hmm.
The free to fucking play game. And then you bought shit like TVs and
Uh-huh.
lamps and shit, looking like IKEA ass, head ass niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they had
Mm-hmm.
in that bitch. And it was okay because it was like, okay, I could try it or whatever the case is. That was the first start of it. And the way that they positioned it, it wasn't like as pervasive, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
could win things. And I think that Sony's probably going to bring that back. A, B, they are going to continue to make that. And that's another thing too. Everybody's like, oh no, they're gonna do this route. And I'm like, at least give a nigga a chance. And to be
Well,
honest with you, I can't. I'll say this because I sound like a shill at this point, but I will be a realist in this case and say this: it's going to happen regardless. You better get used to it because you want them quality ass motherfucking games. Them shits cost fucking hundreds of millions of dollars, yo. And who gonna do it?
Well, this is. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, homie. You gonna go after him, right? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say something really quick, man. I was gonna say, man, I think live service games kind of get a bad rap, because of I think a lot of it comes from the whole idea of monetization. You know what I'm saying? Which obviously started a while back, but a lot of people don't like the fact that they keep implementing like these egregious monetization schemes in their games and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's so much free to play that people have a problem with. But I do think that when people hear terms like live service, they
It's
think a lot about
predatory.
like, yeah, like it's predatory. Like, they're going to find ways to like squeeze as much, content in the games that they could use to monetize it and get every penny out of you. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think that's just the bad rap that comes with that term.
Yeah, it's developers' fault on that. And gamers should have that kind of step step their toes in the water type mentality on anything new. Because at the end of the day, these companies just want our money, and we just want games. And these companies are finding more ways to take our money. And a lot of times we suffer for that shit. We're used to suffering for them. Just look at Halo. The niggas act like they ain't suffering, but they suffering.
Oh,
Halo should have
they burning right now. They
they big
suffering.
money. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they want to pretend that they're not, but it's like, why are you pretending that you're not? You're telling this company that this is okay, and that's where the mistake is. And that's why I said a game that wasn't multiplayer. I mean, wasn't free to play shouldn't be free to play. Free to play forces you to be multiplayer. It's not going to work. When I found out Halo was going to be free to play, I said that shit going to be on PlayStation at launch. And I say that because there's no other way for it to be successful. You're forcing yourself to be multiplayer and multi-plat if you're going to go free to play. Just period. Because otherwise, what are you doing? Like, what good is your user base if your game is free? Especially if it's not even selling PS Pluses or Xbox Lives, right? Because you don't need Xbox Live or PS Plus to play free to play games.
Yeah,
So
now, yeah.
if you make it free, it has to be multi-plat. If you make a free to play game, or you're just risking not being a fucking successful success story. And even if you are successful, let's say The Last of Us sells on every console, every PlayStation console out there, right? Every PS4 console, every PS5 console, 100% attach rate, and it still looked like a failure to them. Because imagine what it would have done if it was on PC as well, if it was on Xbox as well, at free to play. You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
like I feel like people take that shit for granted too. Just like anything, man. I think it's just in people's nature. For when you get something for free, you just don't respect it as much.
You
You know what I'm
don't.
saying?
You truly don't.
Yeah.
Even if
So
it's
it's
not
like,
for free, even in the service, like people don't respect Game Pass. They just talk about it.
I
Well, if
mean,
you
think
think
about this, right?
of,
Let me ask you a question, man. When was the last time you played one of those free games that they give you on PS Plus?
shit, my account been fucking dead for. I mean, not dead. My account actually get lifted from suspension tomorrow. It's been suspended for 2 months. But I don't really play any of those fucking games that come on that motherfucker. I'll test them out, and it'll be in my backlog if it
And
really
never,
is.
never again, and never again. There's only one game that I was fucking with, and that's Control, and it feels dirty to me. It do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't earn it. I didn't
You,
earn it.
you don't got no respect for it because it had no value to you because you didn't have a value.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a very tricky thing that Sony's going to end up doing. But I think Sony's going to continue to do the single player stuff, and it's going to be packaged with a free to play multiplayer of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how they're going to be able to get half of the games to be day and date and have their cake and eat it. If they do it that way, I don't really mind it. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, because I'm looking at Road Company, and that's
Mm-hmm.
a full ass. That game looked like a $60 game,
You
and
talking
they were
about
able.
you talking about PlayStation games are gonna be day and date?
I'm talking about half of it. Their service portion is going to be day and date, I believe.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Possible. Wait, day and date on PC?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. don't
You
think
know,
so.
you know,
It
I'm, you know,
depends on
I'm,
the
you
type
know,
of
I'm
game.
angling it, right?
If it's a free-to-play game, sure.
No, I mean, like, you know how we have The Last of Us and they have factions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if they had The Last of Us as a game and factions was the free to play model? You know what I mean? So
I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that The Last
yeah,
of Us
that's why I wanted
remake
you in here. I'm
is gonna
curious to
be that.
see how you see this to be.
The Last of Us remake is gonna be coming with. It's gonna come out the same time that Factions is gonna come out.
Not just The
And
Last of Us. I mean, like future stuff.
well,
They're
I
doing
don't
these.
think that. There's two different. I think they're doing SOE all over again. They see that there's a new market out there. They're getting PC players used to seeing PlayStation logos on their games. Um, what they're gonna start doing is SOE shit. I said this shit a long time ago in a roundtable. I said
Yeah, I
if
remember.
anything happens, they're gonna do SOE again. They're gonna do it to where there's a whole section that doesn't have shit to do with PlayStation, and they're gonna make PC, and they might even make PC exclusives. You know what I'm saying? Just like they did with SOE with Planetside and all that shit that they did over there. They eventually sold SOE or sold all the games they had for SOE, but still, that's what it seemed like they're doing.
You
If you
said
look at
You
the
said
Bungie
SOB.
purchase, SOE,
Son of a
yeah.
bitch.
But you know, like if you look at the Bungie deal, it's not a part of PS Studios. It's a
Nope.
part of Sony,
It's
the
his
Sony
own.
group.
This is his own
So
company.
yeah, it's its own section of its own company. It's responsible for its own shit. It has to publish its own shit, just like PlayStation does. PlayStation has to publish their own games, put out their own games, make their own money. Bungie is basically a PlayStation instead of actual development
It's
team.
the
If you
it's
want
the,
to
it's
look
the
at how it is.
SOE. It's the SOE.
It's basically SOE. So it's like they're gonna keep building on that. Every purchase that they have, I'm not excited by anybody's purchase. I think it's dumb for gamers to give a fuck about somebody's purchase because what does it do for us? You
That's
know what I'm saying? Like,
not a motherfucking
if, you,
thing.
if they buy Square Enix tomorrow and it be like, ooh, I'm like, motherfucker, Final Fantasy was already coming to PlayStation exclusively. What has
Wait.
it done?
Pause. You know what? I gotta stop you here.
Mhm.
Sony does have the propensity to elevate a developer.
Oh,
So it is.
I'm not saying that they don't, but what
No,
are we going
no, but
to
it's
get that
different
we
on
wasn't
Sony's end.
already getting though?
No. That's not what I'm talking about. When a Sony fan likes an exclusive, it's like, well, if they throw the budget at it, what could they do if they're not shackled with people that just worried about, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when Microsoft and their fans buy something, it is of no value. It's
Mhm.
funny how Sony was able to turn this whole ship around. Everybody said they were doomed. They lost 10% of their fucking stock. And just like that, because of how irrelevant Activision is to me, they bought Bungie and was able to change the fucking tide and only paid $3 billion to do so. Where you did $68 billion on their end. Everybody thought Sony was doom and gloom, but you don't. The thing is, and another thing too, I just want to get this shit out there. I said it on the roundtable as well. What I believe is that everything that's within Bungie is going to be third party. Cool. But if Sony asks Bungie for a collaborative work and it's on their end, but they're asking Bungie to do it, that's a different fucking story. Then they could put on splash screens from the makers of Destiny 1 and 2 in collaboration with Sony Entertainment. What is it? Sony Interactive Entertainment or whatever.
Mhm.
We got this shit. And everybody's like, oh shit, you got two of these motherfuckers? So you got that AAA shit, and you got this Destiny type shit. You don't know what the fuck is gonna yield. I just think, and I agree with you, that this SOE is gonna be like that. My whole thing is this. I'm really curious about because there's gonna be exclusive games that's gonna be released on PC. That's the wild card. So how do you think that's going to be handled?
What do you mean with
Knowing
people?
the
You talking about
knowing the
with Destiny?
information that we have. No, not Destiny. Just in general, what they're going to do with their IPs going forward,
Well,
knowing what they just told us.
you gotta go by what makes sense, right? What they just said was, Herman Holtz put out a thing saying that they still gonna make games exclusively for PS5. We don't want y'all worrying about that. PlayStation is the lifeblood of our company. We wouldn't be here without them. Why would we ever ditch them? And he's right. Why would they? They're number one right now. They have the brand name. Why would they ruin that brand name or get rid of that brand name to compete with people who are richer than them? So it's they're gonna do both ways. It's just gonna be SOE. I think that like we already got Spider-Man coming, right? Already got Wolverine. We got Horizon a week from now. God of War sometime this year. And that's just what they are working on. Everybody is working on what they're working on, and I think, of course, PlayStation is still going to be the focus. I was worried about it at first until I started thinking about it. Once they put Bungie outside of PlayStation Studios, then I was like, okay, there's a reason for that. It's not like they gave them $3 billion, and they weren't worth $3 billion. They could have easily said, "Look, bitch, they gave him $1 billion just for retention, my nigga."
Mm-hmm.
And they have the talent. If they were to leave, if they were to say, "Okay, Bungie, peace the fuck out. Like we're gonna buy this. We're gonna buy Destiny," and they can bring some developers. They have the X team could fucking run that shit.
You
But
know,
the fact that they're doing that shit on the outside of PlayStation, it just tells me that they're trying to expand their gaming entertainment section. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with PlayStation. These games are coming to PlayStation regardless. So it doesn't change anything on the PlayStation side. It just helps them with their money. They can get more money, Sony as altogether, from somebody like what Bungie can do, and they believe in the skills that Bungie has. So
yeah,
they fit the PlayStation or the excellence that PlayStation wants. I mean, Microsoft wishes they had Bungie to make Halo 4. You know what I'm saying?
They
you know
did.
what's
So
crazy too, man. Because Bungie's always been known for making, for the most part, quality games. You know what I'm saying? Like the Halo franchise has been the original Halo franchise was known to be like a quality franchise, a series. Up until 343 took it over. So I
Mhm.
feel like obviously their focus as much as it is the money, and it is to retain the talent that they have. I think they're also trying to. It's kind of like when you hear that saying, it's like, yo, you teach a man to, or give a man a fish, he could eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he could fish eat for a life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right.
I feel like Sony is also trying to expand their knowledge on how they, you
Oh,
know,
big time.
facilitate these operations. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Not only that, like imagine, right? If you see Sony Interactive Entertainment, let's just say, for example, right, Josh is right, where they collaborate on a new IP, right? And you see Sony Interactive Entertainment, right? And then you see Bungie. Bungie is known just off of the strength of their name, you know, that they're a quality developer. You know what I'm saying? When they
Mhm.
fucking did Destiny, even with all the problems that game had, they fucking survived off of their fucking name
Yeah. No,
because it
big
was
facts.
Bungie.
Big facts.
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? So
they have that big ability to do so, like easily.
I mean, I
I
think that's
actually,
just the difference, though. You know what I'm saying? Like in the way that they approach the philosophy for the acquisitions. You know what I'm saying? Because like Microsoft, I think that they're just trying to buy IP. You know what I'm saying? And obviously money, which it is what it is. I think Sony is more so like we're trying to buy the actual name, the notoriety, the talent, so we can build our own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sony is known for equality, and they can't break from it. They can't break from it. That's them. They already made that they set that precedent for themselves. Nintendo is known for family and fun. And then we were had this conversation, Ken. What the fuck is Microsoft's known for?
Microsoft's branding, they buy shit, man.
It's like they at one point it was multiplayer, but then that ceased. So it's like you can't even say that even. So it's like they don't have a brand, Microsoft. The thing is,
Mhm.
I put this poll out there because I truly believe because when Sony mentioned that they bought Bungie and then they mentioned that they're doing 10 games as a service, a lot of people got scared. They were like, "What the fuck is going on?" But one of the things that I forgot is that GT Sport is a games as a service. It's a games as a service. That's what it is.
Mhm.
You know what, man?
So I was hold on. I was going, but hold that thought. I was going to say this. My poll was, and they got 100 people in terms of to participate for it, and it was like if GT7 goes to PC, would you be upset with it if it went to PC a year later? Is that your phone, Ken?
No, it's not mine. I silence my shit.
No, that's I just
So I asked the question. I was like, yo, like if it was a year out on PC, would you care? And I think 47% said that they wouldn't care, and 53% said they would. And the reasoning is, well, the reason why they would care is because they don't feel like it should be on a PC. And then the people that didn't care, they were like, listen, as long as we get exclusive content at this point in time, it's okay. So that's what I want to say about the hybrid exclusivity. Is either they're going to have a portion of the game go to PC, or they're going to have it time exclusive. It's going to be that type of hybrid exclusivity. What do you think about that, Thresh?
as far as hybrid exclusivity, I don't even know how that even works.
I mean, dude, you have a PlayStation timed exclusive Microsoft first party game, yo. If that's not hybrid exclusivity, I don't know what the fuck it is.
I mean, no, I'm just saying like, wait, what do you mean Xbox exclusive time? What's that again?
I said a timed PlayStation exclusive Microsoft first party game. So games like Deathloop and Ghostwire.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
those are like outliers though. Those are games
They
that
are.
Sony
They are.
paid for, not Microsoft. Microsoft didn't have anything to do with Tokyo or Deathloop. Sony paid for those motherfuckers already. It's just that Microsoft now owns the company while this game was being made through. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think Microsoft would have been able to take those games like that if they wanted to without and take them and put them on Xbox. I think they would have to cancel it. Especially with Deathloop, I believe Sony helped them niggas make that game.
I believe they did, yeah, because they talked about that shit.
Yeah, they brought them up and they thanked them first before anybody. Microsoft didn't have nothing to do with it, and that's okay. It's not nobody's fault. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it that. But I mean, I think the whole thing about exclusives is it's going to be based on what type of game it is. That's the way I see it. I don't think multiplayer games are going to be exclusive no more. Just period. If they have a game that's made exclusively, if they have a game that's made with a multiplayer, it's not going to be exclusive no more. I think that single player games will be exclusive for a time. They'll end up bringing them to PC later, but I think that I think that like all these people, these niggas getting bought. No, I think all of that shit is just fodder to preparation. Me and Sick was talking about how there's got to be something else going on, and there's got to be something else going on that's outside of the lines of what we think, as far as other companies. Like I think Sony knows something's going on, Microsoft knows something going on, Tencent knows something going on, and all these people who have the capital to low key buy what they can to kind of save shit. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that these other companies are going to start buying companies, or like you can't buy a company that don't want to be bought, right? So you have to find a company that needs that bought, or that you can talk into being bought. But money talks. So if people see an Activision get bought, then everybody's going to look at that shit like, damn, anybody can get bought because they weren't in trouble. They were getting lower on their numbers, but they weren't in trouble. And it wasn't about security with them either because they were secure. They were fucking active, put out another Call of Duty, dog. Like what the fuck? If you're in trouble, put out Call of Duty. That's all the fuck you gotta do. And so they were in position. I think Apple and Google and them or Amazon, I think they really are getting ready to try and shake up the industry. And Microsoft and PlayStation is trying to save their own asses. Nintendo, nobody's gonna buy Nintendo because Nintendo is not for sale. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna buy Nintendo. Nobody's gonna make a Zelda. Nobody's gonna make a Mario. Nobody's gonna make a game to be able to compete with those names. Fucking Animal Crossing can't nobody compete with. You can put Nathan Drake next to that motherfucker if you want to. Fucking Pokemon and all this shit. I'm playing Pokemon right now. One ass man. So it's like it's. I think there is something going on. There is something going on that we don't know about, and there's a reason why these companies are spending this much money on these consoles, and it's more than just services because these services are failing. Stadia is failing. Game Pass ain't making no money. I don't know if
They
it's
ain't making no money. That shit is unlimited funds. You just throwing shit. You just basically throwing shit in the hole.
Yeah, like I think that was part of the plan.
Did you see their stocks? Did you see their not stocks, but did you see their fiscal year?
No.
The fiscal quarter, whatever the case is, they showed how much money Microsoft made, which I believe was like 17 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they would show how much they made in revenue and how much it was in profit. And I believe Nintendo did 16 billion in revenue, and then they did 3 billion in profit. And you got to Microsoft, right? It was 17 in revenue, and they don't report it.
I'm saying.
that was it. That was it.
And people report, no problem.
They didn't report it. Now you know what I mean. Like, and now that you saying this, and I heard there was rumors about Apple joining the fucking fray, and if Apple joins the fray, here's the thing: I don't think it's anything insidious that's going on. I just think it's these companies trying to cover themselves because remember, Xbox was going to be spun off, and that was going to be the end of it. Spun off and sunsetted. That was it.
Yeah.
Just like the little Vio computers, man. Ain't nobody want that shit. The little Sony Vio laptops and shit. Nobody wanted that shit. They spun that shit off, and you won't hear about that shit again. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Phil Spencer ended up telling him, he was like, yo, I think what we can do is to make sure that we can be a publisher if everything fails. And on top of it, these people, these fucking gamers are fucking, what they call it? Whales?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? What's the terminology for those people that spend it's whales?
Yeah, whales, yeah.
They're like, yo, they'll spend mad money. I think he wanted to keep his job and keep and make it so that, you know, that will keep his job if they're a major publisher and they have all these IPs. Same thing with Sony. They already had these IPs, but here's the thing: a lot of these guys are going to games as a service. And Sony wants to stick out the way that the only way that they can stick out was just fucking hyper quality, basically.
Well, obviously, there's money there. If free to play is making more money than every game, then and then imagine how easy it is to maintain. You know, look at Fortnite. What's the difference between Fortnite first season to now? You know what I'm saying? They do little minor tweaks. You know, add a little extra to the map or do something with this. Add a grip of characters. You know, get a lot of licensed characters, and they're making bank off of something that lasted 7, 8, 9, 10 years now, and they're making continuous bank without having to go back to the drawing board to try to get people to like something. Now they're trying to get people to like something one time, and then if you keep it going, if you have a system that can keep it going, then you will sustain those same people. That's what Microsoft thought they could do the easy way out with Halo.
There ain't no easy way out.
Ain't no easy way out.
And then they fucked up. They fucked up on co-op. Like, what the fuck?
They fucked up everything because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just want to make money. Microsoft has never known what the fuck they're doing. They have used the money. Xbox has used Microsoft's capital to continue doing what the fuck it's doing. If Xbox was made by Sony would have been out of business already. You know what I'm saying? If it had Sony money with the same minds and the same path that it took, Xbox and Sony would have been out of business already. Xbox isn't making any money. Period. So it's like it's losing them money, but gaming has become the biggest form of entertainment in the world now. It's not behind movies.
That's what I was going to say.
So
and
that's why
here's the thing. I was going before we go on. Hey, yo, what's going on, Killer Tay? Yo, Raziel, yo, what you got to say, yo? Welcome to the this space here.
Yeah, thanks for letting me speak, bro. I just want to be quick because my space is like my Twitter app is playing up. Before it crashed last time, I'm not sure who said it, but I think it might have been Thrash. Was talking about the future of multiplayer games going multi-platform.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would be viable? Because when I look, like just on Twitter, for example, just here, I look at things like I see gamers like just hating on the fact that games are on a different console today. Like for example, like do you think factions would thrive on Xbox? I don't think it would. I think
I
people
don't
have.
think it, I don't think it'll go there.
I think that there is a hatred, and I think it's just
Well,
it
well, you
literally
gotta look at that.
is at the point where it can damage games. I think like I really I don't know. I don't know if it could. Like,
You know what?
sorry, like,
I don't think I don't when I say that I'm not talking Xbox though. Xbox doesn't have a large enough user base to make that much of a difference. But day and date on PC, I see that shit all day.
Yeah, all
Xbox,
day, every day.
Halo needed to be on PlayStation because of its user base. The reason why it's not working is because Xbox has such a small user base and PC has all but abandoned it. So they might as well not even have made it free to play because the same people who are playing Halo right now are the same people who would have paid full price for the fucking game to where they didn't have to do free to play. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it fails as well on their own fucking platform, yo. Whether it's $1 or $15, just the demographic for Xbox is just they don't play games. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say it. They don't.
Well, I mean,
do you guys think that Halo could thrive on the PlayStation platform? Like, let's say if Phil Spencer came out tomorrow and was like, "Oh, by the way, we're going to bring Halo Infinite multiplayer to PlayStation." Do you think it would thrive on PlayStation? Do you think PlayStation
I
guys would be like,
do.
"Oh yeah,
I
actually,
can't
yeah,
call
fuck it,
that.
I'll fuck with Halo right now." Like, you know,
I'm not.
we'll have a few games.
Well, I'm
Like,
not sure, but the company would do it because even if one of you did it, that's more than what you know what I'm saying? That's more money than what they would have made without it. You know what I'm saying? If you put a free to play game on Halo and you go in there and you buy one fucking set of cat ears, that's fucking money that they wouldn't have got without you. So I mean, I don't think it'll thrive. I think because PlayStation are just so used to higher quality games. I don't think it can keep up. Even third party games are at a higher quality than Halo Infinite. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it'd just be another game that's
So
like okay,
wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. So the first thing I'm gonna do, Century, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, Kibba, I'll say something in a minute. Just finish up what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, I heard you sound like you were body slamming your child, man. Motherfucker, suplex this kid. Boom, bap.
You know what, man? Honestly, I feel I'm kind of with Thrash, man. I'm not sure if Halo would necessarily thrive, but I do think that obviously there's a larger player base on PlayStation, you know, than Xbox. So I think there's probably a better chance that it would. But I do also believe that um each platform has their own demographic. You know what I'm saying? Like we see a lot of people who who champion their own shit, like the fuck every fanboy from either side, PlayStation, Xbox, they like their own shit. But at the end of the day, man, I do believe that to some extent people choose their platforms for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
It was multiplayer for one time, you know what I'm saying? And people are stuck. Let me let Century Lake go on. I'm sorry, man. Let me just, I talk to your ass all the time. Century Lake was good, man.
Ooh, Century Lake.
Internet. You say, yo, you good?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, everyone forgets that this is so funny because it just proves that Microsoft had nothing in the works. Activision approached Microsoft to get purchased, you know. It's just very telling that Microsoft had nothing in the works, wasn't going to purchase any more studios or anything like that. They were just happy coasting along. And Sony with Bungie, that was start. They said the talk started before the pandemic. So if you look at it, if Activision didn't confront Microsoft and say, "Oh, do you want to purchase this?" yeah, it would just be. Imagine if Bungie came out already and they announced that, and yeah, it's just crazy. So I honestly believe Microsoft they're not in the works. They're not in the ballpark at the moment to purchase anything else.
They could spend 60. What is it? $68 billion on a fucking acquisition, but they can't allot money to fix Halo. Like what? Yo, Silky, I see what you just posted on here, yo.
Supposedly.
You see the
This,
crazy shit
yo,
that goes on, man?
I know that you like your Xbox. I get it. But
Hold up. The shit I posted up top is about some coward ass dude saying some shit about game consoles.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah.
Go on, man. Go on and speak it.
Oh no, I don't even have my hand up yet. No, but what I would like to say is like, as far as acquisitions, like acquisitions don't happen overnight. So Activision and Microsoft were in talks for a little while. It didn't just, they didn't just say it. Then Microsoft didn't just pop up and post it. So there's talks going on behind the scenes. It wasn't just instantaneous, just like the Bungie pickup wasn't either. As far as reason why Halo isn't doing good for me, I've said it time and time again. I'm not a Halo fan. I said it even after the acquisition of Bungie. I prefer Destiny over Call of Duty and Halo. Like so, again, it comes down to the type of gamer you are and the replay value in that game. I don't see that for Halo. For me, it's a good game. It's
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't see it because look at the quality of it.
The quality isn't a problem. I got the LG OLED.
It's not.
It looks smooth on mine.
I'm not talking about graphics. I'm not. You got a game called Seafood, and people are buying that shit. It's not a graphic thing. Dying Light too. People are buying that shit too.
No. Like the thing is like. We know Sony guys, like you guys buy almost every game that comes out for, especially the hardcore, almost every PlayStation game that comes out, whether it's third party or not. Like I think it was Central Link that said Microsoft had nothing planned. That's who said that, right?
Yeah.
If you take away third party from both consoles, there wasn't much out there. On either side.
What are you talking about?
For the PS5 generation and Xbox Series X generation.
All right, I see what you're saying. You're talking about what was offered at launch. All right, here's the thing, right? First and foremost, Activision was already looking to sell, and they did not want to sell to Microsoft because they thought that they could do better. So, in a sense, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right in stating that acquisitions take time. But Microsoft wasn't really looking for that. It was them that went over there and they thought they were being lowballed. And they tried to go to everybody the fuck else. And nobody was like, I ain't paying that fucking much money. I don't need that shit. And that's when Microsoft picked them the fuck up for that. Begrudgingly picked it up. That's what's going on. Now, what you just replied, they didn't have anything. See, the problem here is that Sony already has stuff in the back ready. It just takes time. And they are willing to show it. They have no problem showing their shit. Microsoft, on the other hand, are not showing gameplay and making these promises about these games coming out. That's the difference.
Wait, but what games?
That's my point exactly.
Huh?
I was just saying, like, this is all I'm saying is Sony was in talks for, it's been like 2 years in talks with Bungie to take Destiny. If Microsoft didn't buy Activision, all right? If Microsoft didn't buy Activision, because just remember, Activision went to Microsoft. So once Sony brought Bungie and there was no announcement of Activision.
Also remember, Bungie went to Microsoft as well. So keep going though.
That was
I haven't heard nothing like that. I haven't heard nothing like that.
The Bungie thing is that Microsoft actually went to Bungie and was saying, let me buy that IP and let me buy you. And they turned it down. That was the rumor. But then I heard as well that never happened either. What we do know is that what's out in the open is that Activision, especially with all the bullshit that Bobby was doing, they were trying to sell that bitch. And they went to different people, including Microsoft. That's what we do know. The thing here is you could be a fan of Microsoft. That's cool. No one's mad at that.
Why are you a fan of Microsoft?
Would I be a fan of Xbox? So I'm a fan of Microsoft and Sony, not even PlayStation and Xbox. I'm a fan of both companies. When it comes to Microsoft, I have.
Why are you in this conversation if you ain't a gamer?
No, I'm a gamer. Who, me?
Ain't no gamer gonna be no fan of Sony. You be a fan of a PlayStation. What Sony do for you?
What Microsoft do for you? It's King Thrash. I changed the name a couple times.
Y'all niggas always come here. I'm sick, so I'm not in a good mood, my nigga.
Yeah. Hold up. It's
come up in here with some real shit, man. I don't feel like hearing
Okay,
care.
King Thrash. What I'm saying is, you and I have had this conversation before.
We have, but I'm sick. And I don't feel like it.
Yeah, no. But you asked me if I'm a fan of one. I told you I'm a fan of both. That's not consummate bullshit.
It is.
No, you said that you were a fan of Microsoft and Sony, and
Yeah,
the question
and I am.
here, the question
If
there
you
is,
a
what
gamer,
did the
nigga, you would
rest of the
know.
company did for you?
You said, hold on, repeat the question, because maybe
What
I
did
missed
the
the question.
what did the rest of the company? What is the rest of the company doing for you?
Yeah,
You're a fan of the entire company. So what is Microsoft doing for you, and what you like, your desires?
Yeah, no. See, I was trying to get to that. Like, I literally have a Surface laptop. I literally have the Microsoft headphones. I have a bunch of Sony headphones. Like, I subscribe to most of Sony stuff besides the PlayStation.
You a fan of something? You know what a fan is? Do you know what a fan is?
I'm a fan, not a fanatic.
How you gonna be a fan of two teams and then have jerseys for both teams?
See, you're looking at it differently for me. That's all.
No, a fan is a preference. Is a preference for something. That's what makes you a fan. Now, if you're saying that you're a fan, if you're saying that you're a fan of companies or quality or anything like that, it's something different.
Yeah, you know,
can I ask you guys a question? Can I ask you guys a question quick, right? If I wake up tomorrow and I'm wearing my Gears of War t-shirt, and then I wake up the day after, right, and I'm wearing a fucking Ratchet and Clank t-shirt, am I a fraud?
You are a fan of you are a fan of you know, listen, you are a fan of Gears of War and Ratchet and Clank. Those games.
I think it's perfectly fine to be fans of both, honestly.
Yeah,
but there are two different games. We're talking about a company.
Yeah, you're talking about companies. I've always said I'm a giant fan of Gears of War. Right, I'm a big fan. That's why I don't like 5 and 4.
And I like Kirby. I like Kirby and Metroid. And I don't like Nintendo though.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference between being a fan of a game, but then when you start saying I'm a fan of a whole company, and then say I got headphones for both companies, I'm like, then what are you a fan of? If you're not a fan, you just like their products. Then you know what I'm saying? Just because you like Ratchet and Clank doesn't mean you're a fan of Insomniac. Maybe you don't like everything Insomniac made. Maybe you don't like everything the Coalition made. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I guess in that case, I'm not a fan of anything.
I think you're looking into it like a little bit more like on the corporate side of things, because like we can all agree that the corporate side of most big businesses, right, like they're pretty shitty. Right? We can all agree with that, right? Look at Nintendo. Look at the corporate side of Nintendo, for example, and then you look at like the gaming development side. You know, it's completely different in my eyes. Like in my opinion, it seems like it's
no. Wait. Can I say this? Can I say this real quick? Can I be? I'm not. Listen, Raziel. Listen, Raziel. I'm not playing devil's advocate anymore. I don't care what it's. I don't care what it sounds like. I'm not trying to make friends with this shit. The problem here that you get on Twitter a lot, which irritates me, is this kumbaya shit talking about I'm just a gamer. When we all know that people are fans of fucking things. I am a fan of Sony. I got Sony TV.
So am I.
Headsets. I have, but I don't buy anything else. I try not to.
Hey, Gamecast, let me combat what you just said. So back in the days, I was all about Sony Bravia TVs. Now I'm all about LG TVs. When it comes to the earbuds, like I told King Thrash, I have both. I bought the Microsoft headphones first. The Sony headphones, the XB, R3, whatever they are, MB, they're the best earbuds you can buy on the market. So I'd be a fucking idiot not to want the best. That's my thing. So when I say I purchase both, no, I'm gonna go ahead, research, see who makes the best product of what I'm looking for, and buy that. I'm not a fanatic of anything.
No, you can be a fan and not be a fanatic. Here's one thing, right? Look at this. Hold on, wait. Look at this, right? Apple, them niggas are fans, hardcore fans. They are not getting anything else but Apple. Period.
Bro, I'm talking
if Apple made,
right now.
I get it. You're not in the category because you're looking for quality in that case. My whole thing is this when it comes to people like you, Silky, is that you have a preference for something and don't want to show it.
No, no. Everybody that knows me, including King Thrash, I tell you guys, I like Xbox way more than PlayStation. I'm not hiding that. What I'm saying is I respect and like both companies.
I mean, we gamers, my
But
nigga.
most of the thing that you say,
Everybody-
you seem to be on the defense of Microsoft, which leads me to believe that you prefer Microsoft.
No, I flat out told both of y'all before that I prefer Microsoft. There's no
Then
question.
you are a fan of Microsoft. Then there's a lot of shitty practices that they do that you are okay with. That's to me. That's what it shows, and that's okay because Sony does a lot of stupid shit too that I have to be okay with to be a fan of it. I don't like when people sit there and try to play both sides of the fucking bisexual fence with this shit. It's fucking irritating.
Hey, Gamecast, like you and I have been in spaces plenty of times. I don't know if it's because I changed the PvP or what, but I've never sat in here and be like, "Oh, I love Sony just as much." No, I don't do that. I tell you, like, I prefer Xbox. Here's why.
And I like it. I like it. I'm not mad about that. Wrecking Ball, what's going on? I'm sorry. This shit got me all fucked up.
No, it's all right. I was just wanting to bring something kind of a different position in terms of the discussion and the heading in terms of Sony's hybrid exclusivity, Sony's acquisition. And I've been watching few news agencies, specifically interviews with that Michael Pachter. And he said, Sony paid way over for Bungie. And I did some calculations, and his statement is kind of correct that Sony has paid around $4 million per developer for Bungie, right? And according to that methodology of calculating, Microsoft has paid around $7.4 million per developer for Activision Bungie, given that there are around 10,000 employees. And this talk about Sony overpaid for Bungie, have they overpaid it, etc., etc. And I was thinking, what if they did, and they did it to send out like a message to every single developer that is out there saying you are worth more than what you think you are. So if anyone comes to them and starts to think of acquiring them, they're gonna increase their prices, right? So if, let's say, Microsoft after this goes to EA, Ubisoft, they're going to be standing there like, look at Bungie. They have one IP and they got purchased by $3.6 billion. We have, more than 20, 30, 40 IPs. Give us, $40 billion or $30 billion. And Microsoft is going to go, we cannot do that because you're overvalued. And that's, I guess that's the point.
Microsoft, let me tell you this, Reckon. Microsoft can, and so can Apple, and so can Amazon. No. They could easily fucking do it. The thing about it is, I think the metagame has nothing to do with price. I think the metagame has all to do with allowing yourself to be independent. I think that's what the message Sony is trying to put out there. Look at us.
Oh no,
you're your own. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but have the security of being under a company. That's the message, because people are gonna be like, I don't really want you to take over like that. I don't want you to do all that. But I think that's really meta and byproduct-ish when it comes to this. In terms of what people, but let me say this: in terms of what people are talking about, right? When it comes to Microsoft, when it comes to Sony and Bungie, people think that Sony is buying the fucking IP in a company. Sony is buying expertise, not the fucking company. And that's invaluable for the shit that they're trying to do.
Oh, absolutely. We have the number now, right? 10 service-based games, and if you take the 80-20 rule, 8 of them fails and 2 of them are successful, it kind of pays for it, right?
The MLB is a service game. The MLB is a service game, and so is Gran Turismo. GT7. So that's 2.
Yeah, it is. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that people are saying that this deal that has occurred between Sony and Bungie is winning out of it. They get paid, their developers are being paid, they keep their independence. And I think possibly from a strategic perspective, Sony did it to show, because as soon as it happened, all the news are coming out, right? Developers are getting paid like $1.2 billion. As you said, you keep your independence. The deal is so good that at the end of the day, anything going forward, developer or any production company is going to be asking those types of requirements, and it's going to be very hard to negotiate. So Like it's a you know I think it was really swift and
I think I don't even think that this was like I think they look. Sony has been in the fray of games as a service, and we're about to switch topics too. Sony was in the. Let me just say this: King Thrash already said this shit. I remember you were joking about this, Thrash. You were like, "Yo," when they had that little presentation, and they showed that rapper playing the fucking chess. You was like, "Yo, Sony's playing chess, not checkers." And I was laughing about it. I was like, but I was like, what did that advertisement mean? What exactly are they saying? What is that? Why? You know what I'm saying? They could have did everything the fuck else to show games, but they showed that. And it was like, what does this even fucking mean? They already dipped their Asian feet in the fucking games as a service before. They did it before. They were unsuccessful when trying to capitalize on their multiplayer games. All the PS3 era, they fucked up with multiplayer games. And they even dabbled their feet into in PS2 when they did SOCOM and Ratchet and Clank, and they fucked up that shit too. They had SOE. They burst MMOs with EverQuest and fucked that up. They need help. They need milk.
Oh yeah, the expertise that Bungie brings is invaluable in terms of games as a service. So, all right, that's all I wanted to say. What's the
it's interesting that you bring that up too. I appreciate your input. But I want to move over to because I feel like the net of it is the end of this shit is recognize that Sony is going to be a hybrid exclusivity. Like Thrash said, most likely all of the multiplayer games, the multiplayer portion at least, is going to fucking PC. Or if it doesn't have multiplayer, then it's going to have a delay of a year or two before it gets to PC. And people keep asking the same question over and over. Hold that thought, Thrash. I know you're about to say something about that. People keep asking the same, Sony going to go day and day, they're going to start releasing. No. You can't have a platform of 48 million subscribers for Plus and then want to get rid of it to put your whole ecosystem on a platform that is already dominated from Steam. It doesn't make any fucking sense. They are the oasis of their store. There's no one else can compete on the PlayStation ecosystem, and that's where they're getting their money maker. What are you gonna say, Thrash?
No, just that when it comes to the whole multiplayer thing, like I said, I think it's gonna go day and date. I mean, I think they're renaming multiplayer to games as a service. I think that's what everybody's trying to do too. They're gonna rename what multiplayer is and stop calling games multiplayer games and call them service games. Because that's what they want to do to all these multiplayer games. That's all the fuck they've done to all these multiplayer games now. It's just there was a time when 2K wasn't a fucking service game, bro, and it was better as not a service game. Same thing with Madden. Say all these games. I think that's the biggest problem with games as a service. Is when you had a game before that had this quality to it that had kept growing in quality, and then once it ran into this service shit, they stopped putting the quality into it and putting all their energy into how they're gonna make their stores look and what they're gonna take away and what they're gonna have for sale, just to make it a service.
You know what, man? Even to add on to that, man. As far as because we're talking about hybrid exclusivity, right? Even the term exclusive, that term in itself is being altered as well. You know what I'm saying? Because now, because before, an exclusive game would be whatever, just a game that you could get on that particular platform. Now, an exclusive is a game that you can get on that platform, but you could also get it on a PC platform, or in some cases, like with some of these Xbox dudes, right? They say like games like what's the fucking game called? Ori. You can get Ori on Xbox, PC, and Nintendo, but it's still an Xbox exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's them. That's them not knowing what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Moon Studios is not even in Microsoft Studios, so they all some extra shit.
Silky, what are you gonna say? And then Rick.
Oh no, I was gonna say I can see sports games being a games as a service if it's charged right. Like if they charge you $15 a quarter, which equates to $60 a year, but they update the shit actively, like a player gets injured, now they're pulled from the roster. So when you play online, that he's out. Like shit like that would be dope. But other
No,
than that, like
I don't think game as a service means they don't mean like a subscription service. Like all these sports games are games. Fighting games are games as a service now. That's why they start when they charge
with their
yeah,
they're
seasons and
charging
shit.
you for
yeah,
characters,
Mortal
bro.
Kombat started that. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be in a service. It's more that they're taking away from games what they used to give you through skill. Because gaming used to be about skill. Now it's not about skill anymore.
Yeah, I
And
preach that too.
you noticed that, right?
Yeah,
I had a conversation with one of these developers, and he was saying that people like making games harder. It's closing off people with less skill, and that's why I don't like these fucking low skill. Don't even want to dedicate any
yeah,
type of lab time to get better at games. That's what's destroying gaming right now.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
back in the day, your investment again either cost or something learned is
Yeah,
the value.
Hey, Gamecast,
That's the, that.
I'll say
Yeah,
something that I think you guys will agree with too. Like with Forza, my major problem with Forza is it's way too easy to get the high end cars. Like I
yeah.
said it to all my Xbox guys. So if they started you off
They
in a
start
Civic,
you in one.
yeah, like if they're like, yo, you can get a Civic or like a SI or a little Focus ST or something, and then race and
Mhm.
earn money, and then have to earn enough money to buy that car, you'd see
Yeah,
a lot more engagement. But because you can like, crash like through a fence 10 times and get a spin and win a Lamborghini, like that takes away from the grind of the game, and
yeah.
that's what people complain about. But that's essentially the heart of every game that I like. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's what real gamers really want, that level of skill, to where now we got these people that come up in here, these whales, or these people who don't give a fuck about shit. They just want to play and say that they played, but they put these games down faster than normal, faster than we would, because they don't want to go through that grind. They don't know they don't even know about the feeling of completing something or achieving anything. I mean, these are the same people who complain about Bloodborne not having an easy mode or second row or whatever. These games aren't made for that,
it's
And
not,
it's like,
and that's okay. That's the problem with
yeah,
today's in today's time is that people want everything to cater to them, and then they don't even fucking buy it anyway. Rec, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to make a commentary in regards to this whole exclusivity one thing. And I think a lot of people come, specifically the PC guys, come and say, exclusive. You don't want people playing the games. It's like, that's kind of a bullshit stance, isn't it? Because from my side of it, I know that I bought PlayStation 3 because I wanted to play Uncharted 2. As a result of me buying that platform, PlayStation 3 became more successful, and I got what I wanted in return. And it gives, it's all about access to that PSN store, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's the bread and butter
Yep.
of the PlayStation. Like there's this commentary that always goes around, says, hardware doesn't make money. It's like, that is complete bullshit, because at the end of the day, hardware is where you access the services. Hardware is where
Well,
you access the
when
games.
they say that you don't make money off of it, it's not like what it used to be. Sony kind of introduced taking the loss, and then you just get their money back with the games. I will say this though: what's going to end up happening is that's why I'm like people that worry about PlayStation doing shit and putting games day and date on other platforms. It doesn't make business sense at all. That's not copium. It just doesn't make fucking business sense. Period. To do something like that. And I'm just kind of tired of the rhetoric online anyway about fanboys. I think I spoke about it last week about fucking fanboys. A lot of the times people don't even want to touch Gran Turismo or anything else. Like I'm gonna say this, Silky. Not every PlayStation person pick up every game because Gravity Rush would have been lit. And we don't have a Gravity Rush. So I'm gonna say this. That's what pissed me off about that. People use shit as an argument just for Twitter. That's really what it boils down to, or whatever social media platform that they're going. Two things I want to say before we move on to the next subject is I don't want to be like having an 1,800-hour space. So, first things first. You mentioned this, right? Thrash, you said you thought something was going on. I think it has all to do with cryptocurrency. What's happening? They're using the gaming space to catapult cryptocurrency. To me personally, that's what I believe. Huh?
nah, NFTs, cryptocurrency. How you get
That's
that?
No, that's what that is. NFTs. It is. That's part of cryptocurrency.
Mm. No, but then shit.
So
I
NFTs, like cryptocurrency, is basically like what is it, Ken? Like the what's the word? It's like the Wall Street, the digital Wall Street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just cryptocurrency, just a digital currency.
Like things are, they know that there's billions upon billions of dollars, and cryptocurrency is volatile as hell and it's unstable. But gaming has the potential to change that shit and keep it stable.
You know what, man?
Nintendo is even looking into that shit too.
I know you. I'm not gonna go too much into this because I know you want to move on. But they were even making predictions as to crypto gaming, right, being a $10 trillion industry, basically. You know what I'm saying? $10 trillion.
That's a lot.
It's
a lot of money.
I think people in Nintendo's looking into it. I think a lot of shit is going on behind the scenes, and I think I think one part is that they don't want they want to keep their assets and have something for it. You know what I mean? And another part is they want that to thrive. And lastly, I mentioned a comment about Xbox people don't play games. Most of them, like Xbot, not Xbox players or favorite or Xbox fans, but the bots. Somebody had your name in their mouth, Thrash, which is absolutely fucking deplorable. Like me personally, I'm like the one to be like, yo, say what you say, do what you do, just make sure you ain't hurting nobody, right? But this gentleman says this: what happened to Code will happen to King Thrash. God will deliver. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, I saw that shit.
I just saw it, and K Maker just tagged me in it.
Yeah, that's what I shared up top. That's what I was saying. That's the only person on Twitter I have blocked. I don't normally block people, but that type of shit I can't vibe with, man.
Yeah, like, it's not. I mean, fuck my health. I mean, nigga, look at Optimus, bro. Like, what are we doing, dog? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I could take care of some shit, but this nigga is doing real bad right now. Why we? What the? I'm like, that's what I said. It's like a lot of people who don't belong in gaming, who are not gaming. This is nothing to do with gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, come holler at me, come jump on the sticks or something like that, or come have a conversation. You want to make a tweet saying something as gross as this? It's like you don't belong even on Twitter's gaming space. Like it just. I wouldn't say that to the worst of niggas. Nigga, like I battle with a lot. I mean, even K Mega, I battle with this nigga all the time. And this nigga like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And I would do the same thing if somebody said the shit to him or anybody else, no matter who they are, my nigga. Like even Trump. I fuck Trump and his mom. But I wouldn't wish death on him just because I disagree with his take on life
And
or things.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a troll. You taking it to a whole new fucking level. It's disrespectful, and it shows how much of a deplorable person you are.
What that is,
in general,
that's that internet courage, man. Like he wouldn't whisper that shit in real life around.
But it doesn't. Yeah, we know that we know that there's pussies out there. We get it. But what stands is that how horrible of a person your brain, or how horrible your brain must be. To what are you actually thinking about? Now I get it, because the most politically correct people will sit there and be like, "Oh, I stand for this." It turns out they do all sorts of crazy shit behind closed doors. So I get it. But this is why I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on the PlayStation or Nintendo side or PC side. This is why they get a bad fucking rap. You mad because your fucking plastic lost? You mad because you ain't getting no games? You take that shit up with them.
That's
it ain't
not
nobody
true.
else's fault.
On the PlayStation side, I've seen people wish death upon somebody's father.
I know, but here's the thing. Here's a difference. Saying that I wish you died is different from bringing a person, like bringing somebody in there personally. Like this is somebody's business.
Oh no, his dad did die, and they were celebrating.
Who died?
Some guy named Fertanga plays his dad died in Mexico, and then people were celebrating.
Wow, really?
I saw a lot
on
of
the
that.
PlayStation side. Yeah, PlayStation fanboys were celebrating.
That comment comes from under his tweet, under Fertanga's tweet about me. So that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. That
I mean, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about it, I don't see it as rampant. But if I'm wrong about it, fine. I mean, I try not to even. I just look for games and rumors. To be honest with you, that's all I really give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about what Xbox is doing. as long as they're acquiring my fucking studio, because they don't fucking do well with their own studios. They tend to destroy shit. So like that's my only problem. Like if Nintendo said that we acquired Guerrilla Games, I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't want to buy the console, but I wouldn't feel some kind of way. But if Microsoft said they acquired it, we already know they're going to dismantle that bitch. And just because Microsoft has unlimited funds, don't mean that they won't fire nobody. They've created Mixer and destroyed it. Zoom destroyed it. Everything they do, if it failed, they destroyed it.
Well, no, the point that I'm making is that
Lincoln, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, like gaming fanboys are just insane.
I think it's just people in general where we're at. I'm noticing this, like you'll see Trump or Trump supporters, or you'll see Biden supporters, and them motherfuckers are fucking crazy too. Motherfuckers getting COVID and dying just because they want a freedom choice. I hope you die and everybody that's with you. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is your problem, yo? Like, I can't help because your fucking vaccine don't work. You didn't tip 15 fucking boosters. You still got it. Ain't my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Don't blame it on me. I didn't do it. If you took your boosters and stayed the fuck home, how the fuck you got it in the first place? Anyway, I will digress from that shit. So the next topic we have is this guy named Adam Conover, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever the fuck his name is, Conover. He need a comb over because he balding. Oh yeah, Chris J. What you have to say about this shit, man? What you gotta say?
Oh yeah, no, someone pointed it out that Optimus Code, they made that Optimus Code comparison to King Thrash and hoped that the same thing would happen to him. And under that tweet, this was my exact tweet. I said King Thrash may be some of the biggest like pony clown in the gaming world. I correct him often. I call him out on his bullshit. But even I wouldn't wish death on him because that's just fucked up. That was my tweet.
Look, you can have a friendly rivalry. We used to have this shit all the time back in the day.
Look, all I know is this. Fuck what he said about me. I'm more offended by the Optimus Code part.
You know exactly. That's the thing that really.
That'll be on me, but
that's the thing that really. That's the thing that's sick.
Me, nigga, fuck mentioning me. I don't give a fuck. But mentioning Optimus is extremely offensive to me because he's in a position that he can't handle right now, or that he can't help. Like literally up to God to save this guy, and you say that, I beat that nigga ass on sight. You know what I'm saying? Just off of that. But I mean, fuck what you're saying about me. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's fine to be joking around and shit like that, and that's whatever. But like, you taking it to a whole new fucking level is fucking disgusting, to be honest with you. And I'm not a sensitive motherfucking person. When you got that type of courage, I would love to see you in person. I would love it.
Oh, nigga.
I don't know him, and I don't know him, and I don't know Code. I don't know him, and I don't know Code, but I would love to see his motherfucking ass in person. Period. I find that horrible to say some shit like that.
The reason why he said it is because he's not going to see nobody in person. That's why. That's what this shit has always turned into. These niggas not gamers. I can't even call this nigga a gamer because no gamer would even make this kind of comment. Not even a YouTuber. Nobody.
That's not true. Plenty of gamers do crazy shit.
No, I'm talking about with this situation.
Like how many times he's an asshole, right? But the thing is, he might just game, but still be an asshole. I've met plenty of those.
No, this is what I'm not. This is what I'm not going to do. I'm not once again. This whole trying to play devil's advocate bullshit. Nothing is 100% certain, but what I can tell you is that instead of him making incendiary comments like this, his ass should be gaming if he's a so-called gamer. I'm playing games instead of looking for fucking insults or zooming 500% on the fucking trailer and sharpening images. That's not a gamer to me.
Well, it's not about what a gamer to us is. I'm just saying those two things are mutually exclusive. Somebody could
yes, they are mutual. Look, no, yes, on a very basic level, they're not exclusive. We're talking about this situation. We're not blanketing this comment. We're talking about that nigga over there, that motherfucker. Listen, I know it's possible, but you're saying that, oh, maybe he's a gamer somewhere, or maybe he does play. He's an asshole. I'm calling this shit out. There's a
Look,
horrible fucking person. I don't give a
if
fuck if you're a gamer either.
If you want somebody like that in your community, you call it what it is. He ain't in mine. But
No one said
I
he's in a.
said, hold on, wait. Let me say something real quick, bro. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Like if I've been on Call of Duty, right? On Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I've been called nigger how many times I can't count, right? But at the same time, those motherfuckers who are calling me a nigger are trying to kill me in the game. Trying to call me that. I'm over here, you know what I'm saying? Fuck y'all fucking crack ass niggas. I'm doing that same shit, trying to murder them. At least niggas is in the middle of gaming. But with this shit, don't got nothing to do with gaming. None at all. Nothing. Not one single aorta. This guy knows what's going on with Optimus Code. So the only way you know what's going on with Optimus Code is if you're on Twitter, because you clearly don't game with them, right? So the only thing you know is, okay, you see people who are saying, you know, prayers up for Optimus Code. That's why we know, because we know the situation, his wife and all that shit, posting shit. This is how we know. So this has absolutely nothing to do with gaming. It's not like he lost money to Optimus or me or any of that shit. If you look at the situation for what it is, this has nothing to do with gaming. It's about a video
this just
that
has
I
to do with.
motherfucking made, and Optimus Code has nothing to even do with that.
No, I understand that.
This gentleman, hold on, wait. This gentleman right here doesn't deserve a fucking benefit of the doubt. I don't give a fuck what he does. He's a terrible fucking person.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve a voice at all.
He doesn't deserve a voice at all, and he doesn't deserve anybody fucking trying to explain what the fuck he did, or if he's a gamer. I don't give a fuck what he is. He's a horrible person that I don't want to fucking deal with. I'm not giving him the fucking benefit of the doubt because I see visible proof of how a terrible fucking person. I'm not going to be sitting there. Well, you know, maybe he's a gamer, but he's just not. I don't give a fuck. He's an awful person.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I agree with you guys. The guy's a total piece of shit.
Yeah, but why even offer? Why even mention that he's maybe a gamer? Like, what does that have anything
this
to do
isn't
with
even
this
about him.
conversation?
What I was saying was when people say he isn't a gamer, what I'm saying is being a gamer and being a racist aren't mutually exclusive. The guy might be a piece of shit.
We all know this. We've been on
Well,
the earth long enough to
page.
know this, though. We all on the same page. That doesn't need to be spoken. There's nobody that's two in here. We all know about it. Is this to win an argument to say that, oh, you're wrong?
No.
It's not exclusive. We all get it. You can extrapolate and finish, and you know, I mean, you don't need to have something 100%. That's the point.
There's no argument here. I was interrupted before my point was made. I was saying that we do have some pieces of shit in the gaming community, and I think we need to purge them. That's the point I was getting to.
You need to purge them, but then you said so you said that you don't want to conflate the two. You mentioned that many different times.
I was just being technical.
Xbox people are bad about this. It just seems like you're trying to win an argument. That's what it seems like.
No. I'm just clearing things up. All I said was there are piece of shit gamers that I know. I don't think they should be held high in the community. That's the point that I'm making. I think we all agree with that. I don't think what I said was untrue.
It's not untrue, but again, we're not arguing. We're not arguing with you either. We're not sitting there saying that we don't know. No, I'm not arguing with the point that you're saying that these people are awful people. We already know that. We have eyes to see that this bitch is a fucking terrible person. We already know that. Well, I don't understand what the explanation was needed because we're not fucking stupid. We clearly see it.
No. The explanation that I was giving wasn't even regarding what you're saying. I was saying that there are piece of shit gamers out there that I know that play a lot of hours, but we still need to make sure that they're not highly regarded in the community. That's the point that I'm making. I think we all agree with that, so there's really no reason to even like.
I don't see a gamer that spends his time on Twitter to dig up shit about somebody he doesn't know or interacts with over a fucking piece of plastic. Whether he plays games or not, it doesn't seem like he's heavily invested in it. Because I've spoken to a lot of Xbox people. That's the first thing that you told me. That is, it's not just Xbox people. I've seen it on PlayStation too. I haven't seen it a lot on PlayStation. And it just seems like when you came in here, you're looking to win an argument. I'm just generally speaking.
No. I'm just looking to shed light on the fact that we have crazy motherfuckers that we need to purge.
Actually, last week, I spoke about fanboys, and I don't like either of them, to be honest with you. I already mentioned it. I can't stand them. Whether it's a pony that sits there talking about, I'm going to load up this game. I forgot about Horizon Zero Dawn after you said 2 years ago that shit was hot garbage. Now you want to fucking download it? It's fanboy talk. That's irritating to me. I mean, you do you, but I don't like it.
It's like with Destiny. They're all on
Yeah, I
Destiny.
was about to say Destiny.
All of a sudden, the Destiny looked a little better for some reason. After they acquired it, the graphics became 4K and 120 somehow.
Big facts.
You know, I mean, I'm like, all right, dude. So they shitty people over there too. Like, we get it. It's like I like PlayStation. I have a preference for PlayStation. I will call out things when I see it. I don't buy every fucking title from Sony. There's some things that they do. I'm not going to mention it, Ken. But there's some things that some of these games I don't like them. So that being said, what I want to do is talk about this motherfucker, Adam Conover, whatever the fuck it is, and how he believes that there's no IPs that Sony has to basically fend off a mega corporation acquiring everything. You know, he mentions a statement about Game Pass being, dangerous to the economy. That's what he mentions. He also mentions that, to me, it looked like this. Everyone championed Microsoft for acquiring Bethesda and acquiring Activision. No one said a motherfucking thing for those two giant acquisitions. No one said anything at all.
Yeah, I specifically, what I said at the time when Bethesda thing happened is I was saying, listen, ponies, now that you guys were wanting Microsoft to have exclusives, they just got one, but this isn't a good thing. All this means is now you have to buy another box to play a game.
Look, that's a different situation when it comes to those type of exclusive. They didn't gain any brand new game. All they did is shut people out of a game that everybody was able to play. That's if that's the possibility. That's not creating a game from the culture for which you built your company from. That's just taking shit. That's different.
They literally didn't add anything to gaming. And that's what they're supposed to do. Gaming is about inventing, about composing something. Gaming is art. That's why Electronic Arts, Lucas Arts, it's art. But you're not adding anything to the art. You're just basically buying paintings and showing them off to other people. That's it.
And claiming you did it.
I want to say this, like on the same breath, like how we talk about PlayStation acquiring Bungie for their online services. Microsoft can do the same thing with like the IPTech. For like if they made the next Halo with that, the shit would look gorgeous. If you look at how Doom looks, and it's kind of like that first-person shooter, like fast movement shit. Like,
see, this is the irritation. I'm sorry, Sylvie. This is the irritation that I get because it's like being deliberately dense whenever people want it to be.
Like how?
What Microsoft is doing, what Sony ended up doing, right, is they didn't shut out or made ultimatums for the IPs. They kept it separate from everybody, from the rest of the Sony studios. They will forever, as long as they're under Sony, and the title is under Bungie, it will be multi-platform. They did not shut them out. They didn't make any prerequisites saying, "Oh, you need to have Game Pass on there to enjoy this." That's not what they were doing. And all this talk about Game Pass being, what do you call that again? Not user friendly. What is it, Ken?
Accessible.
Not accessible. Consumer friendly.
Affordable.
Consumer friendly.
Yep.
That doesn't sound very fucking consumer friendly to me, to buy a fucking publisher and say that, oh, we need to have game. Oh, that's Sony's fault. That wasn't how it worked, because some people don't like subscription services. That's why I don't like that fucking company and the shit that they do. That's different.
Yeah, no, you can still buy the game though, and I'd have to ask, how do you feel about the Insomniac purchase?
Insomniac, what they ended up doing is that Sony gave them the fucking money and the tools to create that. It wasn't like they had Spider-Man prior to it and was making bangers, and then Sony just was like, give me that shit. That's totally fucking Sony made that shit.
Like, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, like, the last game they made was for Xbox, and it was a great game. People were still playing it. We're not going to get a part 2 for that. That's not going to happen now.
Microsoft didn't want a part 2. They kept asking the motherfuckers for a part 2. And Microsoft themselves said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, see,
I don't want to do it.
I didn't see either part of that argument. I didn't know they were trying to make
it was why, if you are in a gaming community, everybody knows that shit.
No, I'm heavy in the gaming community.
Okay, then it should be well-known information when it comes to that shit, because I'm going to tell you right now, when people ask Insomniac, when are we going to get a Sunset Overdrive 2? They said, ask Microsoft.
Yeah,
or
see, I
we
didn't
need to
see that.
find, or
So
we need to find somebody to publish the game. Nobody wanted to publish it, and Microsoft sure as hell with their $68 billion wanted to publish that bitch. It would have been easy. But Xbox people, like I said before, don't buy games typically. The bots don't buy people. I mean, buy games. This is a different situation and
I'm
completely.
over here talking.
Oh my bad. What you saying?
No, I didn't even know I was muted. But no, I would say I just addressed the same situation in this last video I did, where when you ask, oh, what about Insomniac? What about Insomniac? Like, was Insomniac making third party games that was not exclusive to everybody else that's going to be taken away in the next chapter of it? No.
right, so
Insomniac was making games game by game. So Sony owned everything that Insomniac was doing except Sunset Overdrive. And the only reason why Microsoft helped them, where it was exclusive to Xbox, is because Insomniac wanted to own it but couldn't afford to make it. So Microsoft was like, okay, just make it exclusive to us. You can own it and we'll just pay you to make it. We'll publish it for you.
yeah,
So
but
that's
Crash,
what's happening right there.
what I'm saying is, if you look at all the third-party deals Sony did in the last 2 years, do you feel that same negative way? Like, about
How?
It's always the same story, Silky. The games were never anywhere. But what I'm just saying, those games Sony paid for the technology and then
What game are
built
you
those.
talking about? What game is he talking about? What game? Give me an example of a game.
So you can
Give me
go
an example of a game that you're talking about.
Deathloop.
What about
Ghostwire
Deathloop?
Tokyo.
What about those two? What about them?
They paid to keep them off Xbox for a year, correct?
No. Yes. Those. You know what those are called?
So
Those
what
are
did?
called.
But
Those
Sony
are
didn't create
called
any.
third
Sony
party
didn't create
Hold on,
anything.
wait, Thresh. Let me finish. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what he. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I want to hear it.
Sony didn't create anything in that. What they did was take it away from Xbox gamers for a year.
No,
They actually did. They actually
no,
did.
they didn't. No. This is what happened. No. This is what happened with Deathloop. Okay, this is what happened. They wanted to make Deathloop, just like what's the name wanted to make World, whatever that shit's called, World, whatever that fake Fallout knockoff that Obsidian made. Same. This is the same.
Outer Worlds.
Same thing that happened with Street Fighter. Sony helped them make these games. All right,
So-
Microsoft didn't step in and help them.
Sony helped ZeniMax make that
No,
game.
let him talk. Let him talk.
Why do you think when they got on stage, the first thing they said was, "We thank Sony for this"? Why? Why do you think that is? They didn't pay just for exclusivity. Just like with Sunset Overdrive, it's the same exact situation. To where Microsoft did something that Sony wasn't going to do, and so that third-party developer who does not belong to anybody went over there where these people say, "Yeah, we'll make it and give you your way." The same thing happened with Deathloop. I don't know if they offered it to Microsoft, probably not, but Sony picked it up. Sony gave them all the marketing. People was wondering why they showed Deathloop on almost every state of play. Like, we tired of seeing this shit. Yes, we know what's coming out. It's because Sony was doing them a favor, helping them market their game on top of whatever money they gave them to help make the game. Period.
How much did they give them to make the game?
So give me a second. Nathaniel, he asks on YouTube, which is the same thing. It's called Gamecast. That's my YouTube channel. He says, "But did Sony make money from paying to keep it off the platform or keep it off Xbox?" No. Sony paid for the game in terms of like they went to them and they paid for the advertisement. Why the fuck would they give it to somebody to fucking? If that's the case, then fine. You know what I'm saying? But they pay for the advertisement so people can buy it because they certainly ain't buying it on Xbox. I'll tell you that much.
How much did Sony put in for the development?
There's no such thing as a company helping another company make a game, and then they let that game be everywhere else. What's the advantage of Microsoft giving Insomniac money for Sunset Overdrive if they were still going to put it on PlayStation? What's the fucking advantage?
Now here's the thing. Now here's the thing. The question that someone asked was how much money. We're not going to figure that out, and it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, but we do know it happened.
The best way to answer that question, my nigga, just tell them this. Just tell them it was enough for them to do what they did.
So
it was an exclusivity deal, and we are speculating on the rest, right? We don't really know.
No, it was not exclusive.
It bro, we're not speculating on shit if they go on stage and thank Sony and not Microsoft, right?
That's a speculation. That's PR. That's PR. We don't know for
that's
sure.
not PR.
I need
Why
someone to send me
do
an
they need
article
PR
showing that
for
they
it?
helped.
Why is it on PlayStation and not Xbox? Why is it timed exclusive for PlayStation? Why?
Because Sony paid them money to keep it timed exclusive.
And what's the difference between them and Sunset Overdrive?
I'm not saying there's a difference. I'm saying it's
What the fuck is the argument here?
I'm saying it's anti-consumer either way. That's what I'm saying. Whether Microsoft does it or Sony does it.
Anti-consumer. How?
Because you're paying for exclusivity.
Wait, what do you mean? So it's not. So wait. You're blaming the company for doing what the developer asked them to do. So the developer asked them for help to do this, to make this dream of game that they want to make, and you're gonna blame Sony for what the developer did with their property?
Wait, so
you could say the same thing when Xbox 360.
No, answer that question. I don't want to hear about the same thing.
Hold on, Silky. Hold on. Let me let this air out. What is the answer?
Okay. So what you're saying is that the developer of Deathloop asked Sony to help them make the game.
Yeah.
Asked them for money, and in return, offered them an exclusivity deal, right?
Whatever the contract was, is the results of what we got.
What was the contract? Because you're speculating.
Whatever the contract was, is the result. We're not going to play tit for tat with this shit.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying we don't know.
No, but you're saying that you don't. What we do know
is what the results are, bro. Like, you can't fight the facts. The fact of the matter is, it's not
the
on
result
Xbox.
is there was an exclusivity deal.
So let me tell you this. What is the definition of anti-consumerism? Because that shit gets thrown the fuck around a lot. What is the definition?
You don't even know what that is.
Anti-consumerism.
Hold on. So
anti-consumerism is when a company does something for money that is against the interest of its customer base.
Everything is anti-consumer. Everything. Then it should be fucking free. Everything should be free. That's anti-consumer.
By that thought process,
no, there's no but. If that's the definition, everything is anti-consumer. That's it. There's no. You say if it goes against the consumer, that's it. It's anti-consumer. I don't want to pay for a fucking PS5. I should get it for free. So it's anti-consumer.
There's cost that a business
There's no There's no, you can't do it. It's anti-consumer. You can't do this. That's the end of that argument.
The free thing, I'll tell you why the free thing doesn't work. When we say anti-consumer, we're talking about an unreasonable deal.
You keep adding it. Then we don't know what's reasonable, what's unreasonable.
What's reasonable? Just what you think.
Okay. Have I said that Deathloop should be free?
No. What is reasonable?
No, right?
I'm saying no.
What is reasonable?
Before we move on, what is reasonable?
Reasonable is when they make a profit, the game gets developed, but they're not segmenting a market base out of purchasing the game.
So how is Deathloop anti-consumer if they haven't made a single dime off of Deathloop yet?
It doesn't matter how much money they've made yet.
You just said
you said that they were locking them out. There means that there was already something there, and you closed the door.
Listen, if you want me to answer the question, you got to let me answer the question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, any exclusivity deal, this is what Activision used to do with Microsoft back in the day with Call of Duty DLCs. When they purposely release them only on one platform for a limited time to entice customers to specifically go buy that platform to play it, that's anti-consumer, even though it's going to be coming out on both.
Who was being anti-consumer?
Activision and Microsoft were doing it back in the Call of Duty days with the DLC. The Deathloop move this time.
Hold on. Let me just say. I'm gonna finish it. This is with this shit right here, bro. So you're saying that it's anti-consumer because of what happened with Call of Duty, right? And you're looking at
I'm saying exclusivity deals by themselves.
Exclusivity deals by themselves.
Exclusivity deals by themselves are anti-consumer.
Are anti-consumer. Okay. Yes. So is it anti-consumer if a company doesn't want to put money in on a game?
If a company doesn't want to put money in on a game, you're talking about Microsoft?
That's what a lot of times leads to exclusivity. Like, say, Bayonetta is exclusive to Nintendo Switch because PlayStation and Microsoft didn't want to put money in helping them make that game. Whose fault is that?
That's PlayStation and Microsoft's.
So you're saying that they have to spend money on stuff that they don't believe they want to spend money on? or it's anti-consumer.
Is Bayonetta coming out for Xbox or PS?
No, it's not. It's not.
No, so it's just an exclusive. This isn't
So
a
it's
time exclusive.
anti-consumer, but they didn't
It's
want
not a
it.
time
They didn't want-
exclusive.
they
It
didn't
ain't
want
coming.
to
It's not
push it.
coming.
Exactly.
They
It's not
didn't
not
want
coming.
to
coming.
publish it.
Hey,
So
Gabe,
they
can I say
didn't
this real quick?
want to publish.
Right,
Hold
right
on,
after
nigga.
right after
Hold on.
Chris.
That's what
Right
cut
after
me
Chris.
off, nigga. They
So you
didn't
can't.
want
Okay.
to publish it, my nigga. So it's
Okay.
exclusive to Nintendo Switch because Nintendo wanted to publish it. So you saying that Nintendo is wrong for not publishing it for everybody, even though nobody else wanted to put their money in on it?
Sure. Yeah.
No,
You
he
said I'm
said
done.
no. He
Go
said
ahead.
that is Sony's problem and Microsoft's problem for that to happen. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm saying they're
Is
also.
that awesome? Whose fault is it?
Okay.
Whose fault
What
is it?
system? What system was Bayonetta 2 released on?
On all consoles.
On all consoles,
No,
right?
I mean,
So-
only on Nintendo Switch. My bad. Bayonetta 1 was on all
so-
consoles.
Okay, so Bayonetta 1 was on all consoles.
Yes.
Bayonetta 2 was only on Nintendo Switch because
Only on
Nintendo
Nintendo
put,
Switch.
yeah, so Nintendo put the money in, but they put the stipulation you're only going to develop for the Nintendo Switch, right?
So yeah, but did you also know that they went to PlayStation and PlayStation said no? They went to Xbox and Xbox said no, but then
Mhm.
Nintendo said yes, and they gave the money in. Are you telling me that Nintendo
On
was
the
supposed to be like,
condition.
here, I'm gonna put
And
this money
stipulation.
in,
And
then
stipulation.
I'm gonna
As
let
a
you be the
stipulation,
people
it's
who
only
told
going to
you
be
no.
on the Nintendo Switch, right? On the
Why you cut
stipulation,
me
it's only
off,
going to
bro?
be on the
You told
Nintendo
me not
Switch.
to cut you off in the middle of you talking, and I did not cut you off. So do not cut me off, right?
No, I just wanted to clear up whatever
I
you
don't
were
know
about to ask me. I wanted to make it
You
clear.
said what you had to say, and I'm just
Yeah.
saying what I had to say on this, bro, because you don't know
Okay.
what anti-consumer is. If you're going to
I
sit
do.
there and tell me that a company needs to pay for their competition to have a game that they didn't even want to support, why would I, as a company, pay for my competition to have something that they didn't want to support in the first place?
You're not paying for your competition. You're paying to get the game developed.
You're paying for the
That's what
game
you
to
have
get
to
developed on each console. Is what you're saying? It would be not anti-consumer.
Yes.
So
Hey.
you're saying that Nintendo needs not to only pay for the Switch version, but for the PlayStation version and the Xbox version, so everybody can be happy in the consumer space.
I'm not saying they need to or
Wait,
don't
wait,
need
stop.
to.
Wait, hold on. Wait, stop.
The
Hold on, wait.
One at a
Silky. Silky. What did you guys say? I know you've been asking.
So by that same logic, what Xbox did with Activision was just helping Activision, right? Because
Why are
they
you having this
wait,
console
King
conversation
Ferris,
bullshit?
wait, hold on. Activision went to Microsoft wanting to sell, right? The
Yes.
same way Bayonetta went to Nintendo
Sure. Yes.
wanting development.
Okay.
So
Yes.
what Microsoft did was do what Activision asked them to. So by your same logic, why would Microsoft pay for that and then put it on their competitors'
We're
platform?
not saying that
No,
is
no,
not.
no. I don't care what they do with Call of Duty, my nigga.
No, wait,
The
let
only
me
thing-
finish
the only
my
thing-
point. Wait, I'm trying to finish my
Y'all
point.
niggas never finish y'all fucking points but have periods.
No,
Finish your fucking
no,
points.
I was
you
saying,
cut him
I was
off.
saying it and y'all cut me off. What I'm saying
Man,
is y'all
bullshit. That niggas don't speak.
about 15 minutes ago, y'all said Xbox bought shit, they didn't create shit. What they did with Activision, they didn't create shit, they just bought it.
Right,
What I'm
okay.
saying is Activision went to them. We know that's what happened. So by your logic, what Xbox did was just and fine.
What?
No.
You
Stop.
haven't seen- Hold
Stop.
on.
Yeah,
This
he
is what
got
I
you
mean.
there.
This is what I'm talking about.
No.
About when I talk to Xbox niggas, you niggas never stay on conversation. All right.
I'm
No,
not an
you-
Xbox
no,
nigga. What are you
no,
talking about?
you shroud your shit in mystery. You keep bringing up all these different subjects so somebody can get lost into what the fuck you saying.
No, I was trying to make this
Wait,
point
no,
for a while.
stop. What Microsoft did is put the stipulation on after they purchased it. So it is anti-consumer.
So after they paid money, they said, "Hey, it's only
no,
our
listen. Stop cutting me off. Listen, Bungie was purchased, and they are allowed to do what the fuck they want to do. Not
That's 'cause
anti-consumer.
Bungie
Stop. They're not anti-consumer.
Bungie
Right?
put their 9-inch
Wait,
dick on
stop.
the
You
table.
keep cutting me off, and you complain about somebody cutting you off.
You paused. I thought you were done.
Bungie. Okay, I didn't say I was finished. I said it twice to stop. First and foremost, what Bungie did, right? What Bungie did, or what Sony did when they purchased Bungie, they said, we're going to purchase it, but you can still do whatever the fuck you want to do. When Microsoft fucking did what they did, they are cutting people out. That's a stipulation. I'm going to buy you, then you ain't making shit on the other places. That's different.
how's it different from saying, okay, we'll fund you, but you're not
Listen,
putting it on other
hold on.
places?
I'm not having this fucking
Yeah,
conversation,
that's what I'm
man. With
saying.
this
Let
shit,
me say one
this
more
is
thing for this
loop
nigga.
round and round we go.
It's in circles. Look.
Hey, can we get some other people just answer my question? Because I'm
I
lost.
just let you talk. Let me have something to say on this, bro. You're saying that now you're bringing up the Activision shit, right? So now we're past anti-consumerism because no anti-consumerism has happened as of yet, right? Microsoft hasn't said anything's going to be exclusive. They don't even own the motherfucking company yet until next year and a half, right? So no anti-consumerism has happened yet. I have been on record on saying that it will not be exclusive to the Xbox, not because bitch ass anti-consumerism. That's what people who say anti-consumerism just want to have a reason to argue about something.
No.
I'm saying my thought is that Call of Duty makes money on PlayStation, right? And you will be cutting out over half of what they make if you just make it exclusive to Xbox, who has the lowest user base. That's why I said it doesn't make sense for games to be free to play and exclusive. Said the same thing about Sony and The Last of Us. I've been saying that shit got it. If it's going to be free to play, it's going to launch day and date on PC because there's no fucking reason to put these games on just one console, call it free to play, and believe that you're going to make some fucking money off of it. Period. Because you're fucking not. You're going to want to maximize your money. Call of Duty, no matter how much money Microsoft has, they're not going to take Call of Duty and then remove Call of Duty from other platforms when they make more money on those other platforms. It's the number one seller on PlayStation and Xbox. I doubt it go to fucking Game Pass because motherfuckers is paying full price for the game day and date and buying it more than their first party games. So if they're going to remove value to make you niggas feel better, then cool. But when they don't put it on Game Pass, then yell anti-consumerism or whatever the fuck you want to do. But then they're just going to tell you, we didn't change anything about Call of Duty. We're not obligated to give you anything. You know what I'm
You
saying?
want
Like,
to be
you
on
gotta
topic, dog.
King Thrash, my point was this: you guys said PlayStation or whoever pays a publisher for that game, they have the right to make it exclusive because the publisher went to them. And I'm saying Activision went to Xbox.
Listen
that was
close
my
to the
point.
conversation. I didn't say that shit. I said that there was a deal in the contract that led them to fucking exclusivity. Nobody walks in the room and says, I'm going to make my game exclusive. And nobody walks in the room and that motherfucker going to be like, your game is going to be exclusive. No, they're going to come up with fucking deals on how some shit goes. Microsoft could never make Call of Duty exclusive before when they set it at the table last generation. And the same thing with Sony. And with Destiny, the same thing too. To where no, Bungie wasn't going to make that exclusive to PlayStation. Would they have liked to make it? With Sony? Yes, Sony would have loved it. Xbox would have loved for Call of Duty to be exclusive without them having to buy the whole fucking company. But the company was like, no, hold on, let me finish. The company was like, oh, you can suck a whole dick, right? What you're going to do is, what I'm going to do is for you, right? You're going to pay me this amount of motherfucking money, and I'm going to give you some maps early, bitch. And that's about it. Everybody else is going to be able to play this shit day and date on wherever the fuck we choose to put it at. Because that was what that's what the contract had entailed. When it comes to motherfucking Deathloop, that's a new IP. Obviously, it's from a company who was already not doing too well in sales, and them niggas needed more from Sony than Sony needed from them. And so that contract led to it being exclusive to fucking PlayStation. So you can't blame one person or one set of people for what happened with Deathloop because it's in the fucking agreed contract between these two different people.
It's still anti-consumer. That's all we're saying, dog.
It's not anti-consumer.
No, you still
You're not a consumer.
you're
Hold on. Let me finish. You're not anti. It's not anti-consumer because Deathloop is one piece of product. Now, if you bought, no, let me talk. If you bought Deathloop, right? You bought it. You own it. You paid for that motherfucker, my nigga. And then the next day, they changed all the people from black people to white people, or they made it to where you gotta buy bullets and buy the cent. Every fucking clip costs $5 fucking. That's anti-consumer because you already consumed the item, and now inside of that item, you got some shit that's gouging you and fucking you over. That's anti-consumer. You have to be a consumer to actually have anti-consumerism on you.
No. Hold on, Thrash. I'm gonna say this.
I'm not holding on, nigga. I'm not holding on, nigga.
My point got mixed.
I'm not in the mood to hold on. All right, I'm not in the fucking mood, nigga. Nigga, look, nigga, you are a customer. Okay, that's it. When you don't buy something and you want to sit there and be a human being, you are a customer. You are somebody who has a prospect to be a consumer. A consumer owns something and they're consuming the fucking product, bro.
That's not what anti-consumer is, dog. Take a business class.
I ain't done, nigga. I ain't fucking done. Nigga,
But you're going in the wrong direction.
Hold on. When you buy something, then you are a consumer because you have just consumed the product and whatever the fuck the product has to deliver to you. If you don't have a PlayStation, it's not Sony's fault. You haven't consumed the PlayStation. You're not a customer of theirs. They don't give a
Anti-consumerism.
Listen. They don't give a fuck how you feel because you don't give a fuck how they feel. But nobody got to care.
Business isn't about feelings, dog. I'm just talking about what anti-consumer is.
Because you didn't want to buy a PlayStation. You can't complain about just like with Xbox, my nigga. You can't
My nigga,
complain.
he's about to cry right now. Take a chill pill, relax.
Crying, nigga. Who's crying? I'm sick. I'm just schooling you weak ass niggas because you hear the call.
No, you're not, dude.
You're not.
You're like the.
You took my point and ran left.
My man. You're like the old man that's lost right now, and we're trying to bring you back home.
On the PlayStation, you are a customer, not a consumer. You are a potential customer, my nigga. You have
anti-consumerism doesn't mean you have to consume the product first.
My nigga. You have not bought nothing.
No, I'm going to wait. Hold on. Wait. Let me say this.
Don't sell Whoppers, nigga.
Let me say this.
You're stupid. You don't know the fuck you're talking
Let me say this. Anti-consumerism, not favorable to consumers, which falls in line with anything at any moment at this point.
Yes.
There is not a prerequisite on saying how much anti-consumer is it, to what degree is it. It's just unfavorable.
Exactly.
No, you are picking your own fucking definition for this shit. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous with this shit. That's what you're doing.
Dude.
You're being disingenuous, regardless of what you would. Like the argument, that conversation, this portion is over because there's nothing. You're a fan of fucking Xbox. That's the thing with it is,
dude. I don't even own an Xbox.
I don't know what you say. I don't care. I don't know you, but I know how you acting right now. And
I don't own an Xbox.
You're not acting like a consumer right now. You're not acting like a consumer.
I have a PS5. I don't
give a fuck what you say. You're not acting like a consumer. That's what it boils down to.
Gamecast. Okay. My point wasn't anti-consumerism at all. That wasn't my point at all.
That nigga, change the subject, nigga. Y'all niggas be muddying the conversation too much.
No, I didn't muddy the conversation.
Nigga, what do you got to say on the next topic?
You mentioned about anti-consumer and saying that some company. No, hold on, wait. You mentioned about. No, I'm not talking about you. You mentioned about a statement about a company is gating off other fucking people, or they want to make fucking money, so that's anti-consumer basically, because it doesn't favor you, and you try to muddy it up with all these other prerequisites. That is muddying it up.
I already have Deathloop. It favors me. I'm saying it's anti-consumer because of something else. But you guys get so angry about it.
No, there's no anti-consumer because of something else. We gave you multiple times of what anti-consumer is. And you refuse to accept the definition. That's okay, though. That's okay, though.
I don't care. I don't care. No. Hey, take it up with Sony, my nigga. I don't care.
Okay. Gamecast. So my
all right.
Point,
so what?
My point, it was not anti-consumerism at all. I was trying to talk when you guys were talking about the Activision deal, when you guys said it's like, Microsoft just bought shit, they didn't create shit. And I was saying, yes, but they went to them the same way that Bethesda, Arcane Studio went to PlayStation.
Silk, we already explained this. We already explained to you the differences and multiple fucking avenues and angles. We already mentioned it.
I don't know. Maybe
you literally avoided the definition and you avoided the comparison on your own volition. There's nothing else to talk about with that.
No. What definition though?
We already told we told you the scenarios. There are two different scenarios. And you are being disingenuous to win an argument or whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't even know what it is.
Hey, Gamecast, I'm cool with you, bro. I'm not trying to win an argument. What I'm saying is Xbox didn't seek them out. They sought Microsoft out after they sought other companies out that didn't want to pay. So when Microsoft paid the point, doesn't make them the bad guy.
It makes them the bad guy because they purchased the whole fucking publisher and all of his IPs, then say that it won't be going over there unless you play by my rules. That is anti-consumer. I don't want to buy another fucking service. Period.
Gamecast. I agree. That's also anti-consumer. That's the point that I'm making. I keep it real. I'm focusing on Bungie and Activision's acquisitions. That's what I'm focused on.
I'm focusing on both of them because when I mentioned what happening for the fifth time about what happened with Bungie, you threw this in there, which muddied the situation.
No, I didn't. What I was going to say about
Bungie. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Silky.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Hey, Gamecast, I didn't try to muddy the situation. What I was saying is
you brought up a disingenuous response about
wait,
they're doing the same thing too. I literally said that what they did with PlayStation is that they bought that company and it's still third party everywhere. That's different from saying you got to do something else to make me more money in order to get the fucking IP. There's two different stories.
But they purchased them, right?
What are you talking about? What is the purchase is the problem? Gating communities is the problem. That's the problem.
Gamecast,
exactly.
If Gamecast, what I'm saying is Microsoft purchased them after being asked to purchase.
You're not listening. Look, he is so look. He refused. He don't want to move this shit. We are literally explaining to him that you are still able to get Destiny everywhere, regardless of the thing.
What is the fucking point? Oh my God. That's why I keep telling y'all so difficult to talk and have a gaming conversation because you're too busy trying to make a point that don't make no sense in the conversation, man. We don't give a fuck. It happened, yes. Okay, Microsoft should be out there. They should have Call of Duty everywhere because Call of Duty is a fucking staple as a third party on every other platform. If they don't want to do that, then they're not going to fucking do it. And that'll be on them, my nigga.
And that'll be anti-consumer. That's all I'm saying.
So
that's all I'm saying is that it's anti-consumer. You are adding more to a situation for what? We already know it's the whole gamut of things will be considered anti-consumer. We already said that shit 10 minutes ago. We already said that.
That's not the free thing.
Wait.
I think there's a balance.
It's over. We said it.
I'm not gonna respond upon it. I'm just saying I never said it wasn't anti-consumer. All I said was that Activision sought them out and they purchased them.
No, what you're doing, look, I don't understand why you're not looking at the bigger picture because you're doing this whataboutism. If this company can do it, what about this? You literally said, what about Activision? What the fuck about them? What about them?
What Silky's saying is what Kraken says. Keep that same energy.
Thank you.
That's not the same situation.
So tell Microsoft to keep the same motherfucking energy then. Because niggas,
I don't know what the argument is. This is weird.
No. What ended up happening? You can say no. He derailed this shit on purpose. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna say this one last time. And I'm gonna explain what's going on with this subject. I can still get Destiny on anything I want to. When it comes to Activision, right? I cannot. After the whatever contract that they have. What energy are you referring to, Silky?
The energy I'm referring to is we're saying Microsoft is a bad guy for paying with the company.
They are a bad guy because they are gating off the game from other people. What part don't you understand?
Gamecast, I'm trying to make my point. You've like that's like 5 times in a row. What I'm saying is if they sought them out and said, hey, we want to buy you, and then took them off PlayStation, hey, say what you want. But as we know, Activision went to Microsoft. They went to Microsoft. That's my point. So when we say, oh, they're the bad guy because they bought them, no, motherfucker. The Activision went to Microsoft.
I'm already over this shit because what everybody can sit there and say is that they first of all they are the bad guy because they made these stipulations to make themselves more money, which would be considered anti-consumer. That is the end of the fucking topic. That for that. That's it. They're a bad guy because they made up these artificial limitations for you to play the fucking games.
That's what we're saying.
Who purchased it? No, that's not what you were saying. That's not. Yeah. You said keep that same energy, insinuating that the same thing happened with Sony. You mentioned
Silky is saying.
You mentioned no. He's saying keep that same energy. Both of you then.
No, I had a different point, God. You blame me for what Silky said.
You said anti-consumer. What Sony was doing was anti-consumer.
Yes.
And then you made these limitations what anti-consumer would be. That's where you were wrong.
I said reasonable business practices.
You said reasonable. Then you can't describe or quantify what reasonable is.
I was trying to, but you guys kept
my reasonable is different from your reasonable.
Okay.
So you can't. That's a subjective thing. That's a subjective thing. You can't sit there and win an argument off of some subjective shit. So you might.
I'm not trying to win an argument. I'm trying to have a discussion.
Whatever you were doing now, in terms of Silky or whatever he's saying, right? He is saying that Microsoft isn't the bad guy because he favors the company because they somebody walked up to them. Microsoft had all the money in the world to sit there and say, okay, cool, you just be under us and let's leave it like that.
Well, that's why I also said Nintendo was a bad guy for doing it to Bayonetta. It's the same energy.
We
I
know
keep the
that.
same energy all across Sony,
Yeah,
Microsoft,
but
Nintendo. I don't give a
but
fuck.
the thing that you're doing is you're acting like we're slow. Everybody sees that shit.
Did I call you guys slow, dude? This is
No,
what I'm
but
saying.
you are
Reading too much into it.
reiterating things that everybody fucking already knows. It's anti-consumer to pay online. It's for anybody. It's anti-consumer to raise the fucking prices. It's anti-consumer to pay anything at all.
No, not anything at all.
That,
There's reasonable measures.
Not that. No, it's against. It doesn't favor me as a consumer. That's the definition.
Okay.
Webster's definition. They said that as a consumer, paying for shit doesn't favor me. It doesn't favor me.
There's a transaction.
No, stop. It doesn't favor me. It doesn't favor me. It doesn't favor me. I don't want to pay nothing. It doesn't favor me.
Hey, Gamecast.
It doesn't favor exactly. Hey, it's not anti-consumer because you chose not to purchase it.
No. I'm saying
anyway, go on, Silky.
So if King Thrash is right, say Microsoft keeps Call of Duty on everywhere, is it still, or are they still the bad guy?
Yes. Why wouldn't it be?
Because they're keeping it everywhere.
If Sony said Bungie don't make shit for anybody else, only for me, they will be the bad guys too.
No, I said Microsoft.
But I'm just letting you know that it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's always going to be bad. So I don't know why you're trying to make it. Oh, well, what about this? Well, what about that? It doesn't matter. I like a company, but it doesn't change it. What are you saying?
Did you hear what I said? I said if Microsoft keeps those games everywhere, are they still the bad guy?
Because you can't use a gatekeeping argument anymore.
Oh, wait, I thought you said you keep it on. If they keep it, no, they're not a bad guy. No.
Yeah, that's all we're saying, dog. Like you guys are lost. But that's not the conversation that we were having, because we all know that what Microsoft did, they are keeping the shit on their stuff unless you put Game Pass on that bitch. It doesn't. That's anti-consumer. We agree with you.
It's anti-consumer. But he brought up some shit that we already fucking knew. We already knew that shit was anti-consumer.
But then you guys took it to the extreme.
Why? We sat there and then both of you brought up some sort of whataboutism.
No, we didn't. We were just telling you what the actual equivalency was, dog. No. That's all we were saying.
Yeah, hold on.
We can't hear you, dog. We can't hear you. You sound like a robot.
Conversation. The whole point of the conversation is The whole point of the conversation is I'm just want to say
you're cutting out, King Thrash. Like your internet's breaking up.
Fuck my internet, nigga. Decipher this shit. You a PC, nigga?
There we go. Better. This is what
I'm just saying, y'all niggas come up here. We can't even have a normal conversation about gaming without y'all niggas trying to jump. So no, y'all.
Bro, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I literally wasn't calling Sony a bad guy at all. So I don't know how the conversation got mixed up. I really don't.
Yo, Thrash, you're gonna have to walk somewhere else. I don't know what's going on with your shit.
Yeah, you're just making yourself sound more ridiculous. I'm trying to answer you.
Oh no, he's not making it sound ridiculous. What's up with the inflammatory conversation?
No. I'm saying I'm trying to answer his question, but I can't
just sit there. You can sit there and say, "I can't hear you."
Yeah, I said that 4 times.
You're making yourself sound ridiculous. What are you talking about?
No, because you said decipher it. That's why I said I can't decipher it if I can't hear you.
It's just a joke. It's a fucking joke.
Okay, well, so did I. I mean, a joke.
Okay, it's a joke.
There's no way you can confuse anyone like you don't have an Xbox. Oh, I'll see that's a typical Xbox fanboy logic.
Rhetoric.
I don't have an Xbox. I have
I think my shit's still tripping.
No, we can hear you now, Thrash.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He was just making sure he can hear. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Like that's you get that a lot. And I don't see why you would defend, like why you have to go that far, twist logic to defend the Xbox, only to say like, oh, I don't have an Xbox, or I'm not this. Everybody's trying to play, and it's even got to a point where like, oh man, stop crying, because you're actually sounding like a baby, like just wailing here. I'm like, guy, just chill. Just try to listen to others, and then like don't be immune to logic. Try to be logical at times. But no man, just keep going on. Okay.
Look, I understand what he's saying, Silky. You sitting there laughing. I get what he's saying.
No, I understand him too.
Why you laughing for? Why you laughing for it? Why you smiling?
Because sound like babies. That's why I laugh.
None of them lying ass. Go on, boycott.
All right.
Yeah.
So man,
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to squeeze everything in there. Go on, boycott.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just jumping into the conversation. I think the problem that a lot of people have with this situation is this is not what we were asking from Microsoft. We were asking for them to make better games,
I
and
see you, right?
instead they bought better games that we already had. You know what I mean? I think this is where a lot of the inflammatory reaction to what's going on is coming from. You're not giving the gamer anything new. And I think that's where a lot of the behavior is coming from. If Microsoft would have gotten themselves a stable full of developers and made some great games, the reaction would be totally different. Whether it's a fair reaction to Microsoft or not, that's a different question and some different answers. But I mean, I have all three consoles. I'm not getting anything new out of it. You know.
Yeah,
So that's my
the
last.
acquisition doesn't do anything. I see you, Game Tight. I know you want to say something. What's going on, Reckon?
All right, I'm going to make 3 points, and hopefully I don't get cut off. So number 1 is exclusivity is anti-consumer if it substantially lessens the competition in the relevant market. Deathloop, Ghostwire, a single game is not going to substantially lessen the competition. Number 2, what Microsoft is doing currently, and this is to Adam's point, is they are acquiring large numbers of IP to lock it under a service that devalues the current products that we enjoy. It is race to the bottom, and that is the problem. Of course, they have problems in regards to them struggling to create industry leading products. But the problem, and what Adam is saying, and no one is understanding, is currently they're on a trajectory to devalue the products that we enjoy. And as a result of them being devalued, anything that comes which has value against it is going to struggle because they're currently offering up to how many 300 400 products and a $15 or $99, and it is going to be really difficult to compete with it because they are taking a loss on it. That is the bad side of this current, what is going to happen. And we've seen it in the mobile market. First, we've seen $5 ones, $10 ones, and then it was 99 cents. Now it's everything is free and everything is, locked behind a loot box or a microtransaction. That is the problem that we should be discussing, and that is what is going to happen. That is the problem. The problem of this exclusivity of being anti-consumer, we can go back on and on and on. The question you always need to ask is, does it substantially lessen the competition? If it's no, move on. That's it.
When you said devaluing, can you define that a little bit for us? I didn't know what you meant by that specific point.
Okay, so what I mean by devaluing is, I'll give you a perfect example, right? And it's everywhere.
And I'm trying to, and now Reckon, before you do it, I'm trying to get Game Tight to say something too. So if you can just kind of consolidate.
No, I just wanted to answer this question.
He can go ahead, man. I want to hear what he got to say.
Okay. So what I mean is, this is a perfect example, right? Returnal. It is a product that a lot of people are starting to mock because people believe that it is not $70. Now, that is good that people are making their choice, but it is an ongoing effort by influencers, I call them lobbyists, that are lobbying against the current position where the market is. So as a result of it, it's going to devalue the products that we receive, the quality of products that we receive, and through subscription services, the current individual, a single, Returnal or Seafood, you name it, are being devalued. You've seen the video of Paris talking to his friend and saying, I was talking to my friend and he said Death Store is currently not on GP. He wasn't sure. He's going to wait. That product in that eyes of that other person had been already devalued because that person is thinking that it is not worth the asking price, and the only thing that is worth is being in a subscription services. This trajectory is going to result in lesser and lesser quality products. That is my current issue with it, and that's all I can, all I'm going to say. But all of this going back and forth of exclusivity being anti-consumer does not matter at all, unless you have to ask the question substantially lessening the relevant market. That's it.
All right, what do you got to say, Game Tech?
Really, the only thing I have is I think that the main issue, I think most people just want to see Microsoft just come with a new IP that's a banger. I think that's what people want to see. We don't want to see people. We don't want to see them buying, fucking the Call of Duty, one of the biggest fucking games out there, multiplayer games that you could think of. We want to see you come out with your own banger. Like we've seen Sony do it time and time. That's the problem with Microsoft. They think that they got all this money that they can just buy and it'll fix shit. That's not how it works. We want to see you create something from nothing. We want to see you build something. And that's really all I had to say.
And touching up on what I think Silky mentioned before, when people are mad, and I'm going to reinforce this. People are upset about, because it's all subjective, right? You can sit there and say you like Bleeding Edge if you really wanted to, you know what I mean? So I can't say you're wrong. You're in a minority, but I can't say that you're wrong. The thing is, not a lot of original IPs come from Microsoft at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. It's not that it has to be an original IP, but they're not really contributing into the gaming space. Period.
Imagine that Fox would have bought the Avengers, right? Like people who love comic book movies when it was really, really big. Imagine if Fox bought the Avengers instead of Disney. Everybody would have rioted because Fox makes, sorry to do the equivalence, bad movies or bad Marvel movies, right? And not saying that
It's a good analogy.
not saying this consolidation is great, but at least show the talent first and the fostering of games before you start bringing in developers. And instead of bringing in a whole you didn't have to buy in freaking Activision. You could have hired developers from Activision. You could have gave them a good space to come to, hired the developers, and made yourself a better game than Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Or better yet, if they call themselves not trying to lock things behind. I mean, you could have literally been like, "Yo, I'll give you like fucking $500 million to put it day and date on our service." But nope, I'm just gonna buy this whole fucking thing, and yeah, if you really really want it, then you can buy our services. You're pushing me to do something I'm not feeling to do.
Let's be honest though. Let's be honest. Look at the whole thing too. As to piggyback on what you said, they wanted a piece of a pie that they couldn't bake. And the same thing with PlayStation. They wanted a piece of a pie that they couldn't bake. PlayStation wasn't making multiplayer games like that, games as a service games like that. They obviously want to get into that. Microsoft hasn't made a successful game that has been successful, regardless if it was exclusive or not. They haven't made that game that has broken that mold to bring them out to actually have them make money. So because they couldn't make that pie, they bought a piece of it. And
So
same
wait,
thing with
what's your
Microsoft.
successful metric?
God damn, man. I don't feel like talking to you, bro. Because
I'm just asking you a question because you're making a point.
I'm not asking the question, bro. Like you telling me that they didn't buy a piece of the pie? You telling me that Sony didn't just buy a piece of a pie that they couldn't bake?
I didn't say that. I said, what do you consider a successful metric when you talk about Microsoft? I'm just asking
What
you
do
a
you mean
question.
a successful metric, bro? They've
You
already
just
came
said
out and
they
said
haven't made a game that made them successful.
they've already came out and said that Xbox hasn't made them a profit. Call of Duty will make them a profit in gaming like that. They couldn't make that piece of a pie, and so they bought it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So like, why are you muddying the conversation?
But you said success. I wasn't trying to muddy the conversation. I was trying to clear it. You said it
Yeah,
hasn't made them successful.
but again, that's something that they can quantify on their own. Because if I say that $1 million because I'm just one singular person is successful, and they say that's not successful, that's fucking pennies on a dollar. That's okay.
Yeah, but that's what
Okay.
I'm asking. What it is to King
But
Threat?
we
What is
don't
success
know.
to him?
We don't. All we know is that Microsoft don't like it. That's what we know. Whatever it is, they don't like it. Silky.
No, my point. You can skip me. I missed my whole point. We moved on since then.
Okay.
Hey, I'll just add one thing real quick, and I wanted to piggyback what Boycott had said earlier, and I think this is very important. I think what you're seeing is you got two different companies going about things differently. Sony doesn't really care about IPs. If you really look at what they've been doing throughout since they've started, they care about developers. That's their thing. Like, they want developers. These IPs don't exist without the developers. And I think that Microsoft need to get that. Developers should be the first thing that you should be going for, in my opinion. Because yeah, the IPs are great, but I mean, like I said, these IPs don't get created without the developers. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think Sony gets that. So that's all I had to say.
All right, Silky.
Yeah, so we all understand that before the acquisition, Microsoft had 7 studios right before they started picking up different studios. So out of those 7, they had 5 IPs that we would say are respectable, and that could include Gears of War, Forza, Halo, Forza Horizon, things of that nature, right?
That's still Forza, but go on.
Yeah, but it's 2 different games, 2 different.
That's
Hold
still,
on, wait. You said they had 7 studios prior
Prior to all the acquisitions,
prior
they
to
recently made.
Halo, prior to
No,
Halo
no,
again.
no. Prior to the
prior to
acquisitions,
acquisitions.
prior to when they started
Okay,
making
so what is Halo
acquisitions.
and Gears gonna do with the acquisitions?
No, I'm trying to make this point, man. Let me do
Oh,
this.
okay. No, I was just confused because you said
No,
one
no.
thing and you said Halo and Gears. I'm like, wait,
What
that's
I'm
been already
saying is,
before, dog. Like, but go ahead.
no. What I'm saying is, we say that they don't bring anything, they haven't created anything, but at the same time, we have to look and say, okay, out of their 7 studios, they created 4 remarkable games, 4 highly regarded games, right? So we can't just say they don't create or they haven't created because they
Wait,
clearly
hold on.
have. They
Well,
just
no,
didn't.
well, I think you're kind of wrong on that because Halo was already out. Well, not out, but it was already being made before they bought it. They literally bought
Yeah, for
Bungie
PC.
because of Halo.
Yeah, for PC. I
So
understand.
they didn't invent anything. They bought it.
No, but what I'm saying is this: the game wasn't out, right? You can say the same thing for Spider-Man on PlayStation. The
No,
new the
I
new
can't
Spider-Man.
because Sony was the inventors of Spider-Man. Insomniac wasn't making
Did you
Spider-Man.
just say Sony was the inventors of Spider-Man?
I'm
They
There's
I just
talking
just
want to
about
have
make
the
the
sure.
rights to it,
we're
dummy.
there's
talking about the game. So you want to muddy it? Don't muddy it. Okay? Don't
No, I'm
muddy
not
it.
trying to
Bro.
muddy
It's
it.
wrong. We're
Yeah,
no,
we
wrong.
just gotta
but
clear it up.
then
Don't
you
say
can
a bunch
you
of dumb
can't
shit.
just be
We are
taking
wrong.
liberties and shit like that.
Insomniac was not making Spider-Man, bro. And then Sony saw that and was like, yes, I'm about it. No, Sony paid them to make Spider-Man. And then they made it. That deal, after they got bought, like right after Spider-Man, that deal was already in the process beforehand anyway.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is when Xbox came onto the scene with they were brand spanking new. They had to buy something, so they got Halo. That was their big first one, and then they had Gears, and then they had Forza, right? So
They
out
they
of
didn't they didn't make Gears of War. So
oh my god, okay.
Well, they
they
didn't. I
didn't.
mean, it's not that
They
nobody's
did. What
like
do you mean?
fighting you,
Okay,
dog.
like what you talking about?
They didn't. Epic did. That's why they had to buy Gears off of Epic. That's why they had to buy Halo off of Bungie.
But
You know what I'm saying?
Treyarch used
There's
to
even
make
a
the old
PS3
Spider-Man games.
model of it. There's a PS3 version of it. Like they bought exclusivity.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's the same argument. You guys could say Spider-Man 2, the
No,
greatest
don't
Spider-Man
jump
game
into this,
before
Chris.
this
We're
one
not talking to you
was
because all
Treyarch.
you're gonna do is muddy it, bro. No,
No one's muddying it. We're just telling you where
he's
your
bringing up,
argument fails,
he's
dog. You
bringing
just
up,
get
No,
pissed and
no,
you
that's
cut me
not.
off.
No, that's not what it is.
He's bringing up studios and saying
No,
that
it
they
wasn't.
bought
I
these.
was
They
No,
telling
these
you
we're
where
seven
your
talking.
studios
We're
argument was
talking about.
wrong.
We're
who
talking
made
about.
these
Wait.
games, and
We're
we're like,
talking
no,
about.
these
Wait.
games were made. Like they
Hold on,
bought the studios for these games.
Thrash.
Dude, no, you're not.
We talk about creating the IP in that particular iteration.
Yeah, but the
And
video
they
game,
didn't
right?
create. They
Spider-Man
did that
2,
video. They did not create Gears of War. They just said keep it
we
on there.
know. We know. Just like
Okay.
But
Insomniac
we
didn't
didn't know.
create the
That's why we
Spider-Man
gotta bring up
video
No,
game.
there were many different Spider-Man games
Exactly.
that was multi-platform, and Sony paid them to make that Spider-Man that specific way. That was a creation. Just like Sony Spider-Man movies are different from Disney Spider-Man movies, but it's the same IP. That's what's going on here.
And that's what we're saying.
You were factually no, you're not. You're factually wrong. Go on, please, Sophie.
Go ahead. Complete your shit, bro. We just saying that your information is kind of off. But go ahead.
No. So my point was this: like when they first came in, like I said, up into 2015, they had 7 studios. Out of those 7, made 4 great games. That's my whole point. Whether they originally came up with IP, the idea, or whatever, like I'm saying, out of those 7, they had 4. So when we say Microsoft doesn't make good games, they have no good games. I think that's just to me, it's
I don't think
disingenuous.
nobody said they have no good games. We're saying they're buying their way through gaming, bro. They're not inventing anything.
King Thrash, Boycott said Microsoft doesn't have any good games. We want them to make better games. What I'm saying is, yeah, but hear me out. Out of their 7 studios, they had 4 good games, right? Would you agree to that?
4 games?
Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Forza
Horizon.
Add Fable to it too.
Fable,
no, I'm not even counting Fable.
I think Fable, yeah.
I think Fable is good. And then Forza is good too.
They canceled Fable and then like ended Lionhead, right? And then when Halo was owned by Bungie, was already made, Microsoft bought them. Microsoft actually wanted to change the name from Halo. You don't know the history. And then same thing with Gears. And then that 7 studios before they started buying, Bungie and Epic was already gone. And so was Lionhead. So it's like, the one studio that actually did make a game was already kicked out. Like they didn't like it or something.
It was Turn 10 too. Turn 10 made Forza, so I got to give them credit on that one.
Yeah, wasn't it Project Gotham at first?
Sony did the same thing to Evolution
We're not
Studios.
talking about Sony. We're not talking. Sony doesn't have a problem creating games. We're not talking about Sony, bro.
I know. I'm just saying.
You're just saying about what? It's money in the thing.
Stay on point. Stay on point. Sony doesn't have a problem creating games. Just stay on point.
I care about none of that.
I'm staying on point.
You know?
Drive Club.
All right, hold on. Omo, go on, please. And then Boycott, then right.
All right, thank you for having me once again. I was going to ask King Trash, how would you feel? Like, how would you feel if a company like Amazon or Google comes to buy GTA? I actually look it up and I see that you're a big fan of GTA. Let's say they come to buy GTA and lock it behind their platform, either Google Stadia also. So, like, how would you feel about it? Like, pro-consumer, right?
I say it like this, bro. Even though I think 343 is already a Western company, I just don't like Western companies in gaming, dog. They've proven to be the ones who don't care about the actual art of the game, but more about monetizing it. I mean, we've seen it with Grand Theft Auto right now, where we still have the same Grand Theft Auto of 3 generations, and then we're making part 6, don't worry, but buy part 5 again. Like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only because the multiplayer and people are buying shark cards or whatever the fuck. It's all about monetization. It's not about actually giving experiences. So if Google and Apple come along, what are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what they're looking at Microsoft, they're looking at all these companies that are trying to do different things with gaming because gaming has become the biggest part of entertainment in the world. If Apple and Google come in, what are they going to deliver? What have they delivered? I've watched Google give up on so many products. You know what I'm saying? I'll be scared for 343 and Grand Theft Auto because if it doesn't do well, especially if they make it on their own products and doesn't do well, that'll be the end of that, right? Yep. And then if Apple fucking goes and they do this shit, what good does Apple do? Apple's good at charging people for shit. That's what they're fucking good at. You can't even play fucking music or no shit. You always got some kind of paywall behind something. So God knows what the fuck they would do with that. I don't want no Western. I don't want any companies who don't like gaming like that. These 2 companies, Apple and Google, has been around this entire time, and they haven't tried to make their own way into it. And if they're going to try to buy their own way into gaming, then you don't have that passion to be in the gaming in the first place. Because you don't have this passion to make new art or new experiences for gamers. You're just in it because you want a piece of the pie.
Exactly,
so
man.
I wouldn't want them to be it.
So let me go to Boycott. Let me go to Boycott. Boycott.
Yeah, a couple things. Like, people keep saying, man, well, what is up? Amazon and Google, as long as they don't get it. I'm like, bro, Microsoft is Amazon and Google. It's the same thing.
You're
You know
right.
what I'm saying? I don't care what the difference is. If Google and Amazon come in, they're gonna try to do this same service. If they charge too much, the people are gonna riot against it. They're gonna knock it down to what? $14.99 a month. It's the same thing, right? Secondly, the other day I saw a rumor that Nintendo might buy Capcom. I'm sitting here. I got all three consoles. I was swinging at the air when I heard that, bro. I was like, yo, if they buy Capcom, I'm gonna be pissed. I do not want my games, third-party games, locked to one console, right?
That's what it will be.
And you know, Nintendo, I give them the respect because Nintendo and Sony got the same thing going. They make great games, they make it themselves, and they distribute it out, and then you got the third party to go along with that, right? So I think Microsoft is more on the Amazon Google side than Sony and Nintendo was on a totally different side. Nonetheless, I'm sorry if I'm digging up some old stuff y'all already talked about, but the Adam Conover thing, which what brought my attention to it is because I've been trying to figure out what the purpose of Game Pass was for a minute now. I'm like, bro, that shit ain't making no money. What are they doing? Right? When he brought that up, it brought me back to something I saw in Harlem. In Harlem, there was this pretty famous, and it's on a small scale, I know, but there was this pretty famous buffet there, right, owned by a black lady. It was doing well. The buffet came in. It was a Chinese buffet. They undercut them hard, right? Really low prices to get in a buffet. When her buffet shut down, because she was talking about it on the radio, they jacked the prices back up. When he said that, I was like, yo, that'd be some cold shit. And that makes more sense than just losing money on these expensive ass games all year. And that's why his rant or whatever was relevant. It could be fearmonger, but it's still a relevant point.
He has a lot of history with these companies and subscriptions, from my understanding. But before I go on there, let me get Reckon there.
Okay, so in regards to the Adams thing and specifically Game Pass, what I can add is, from a strategic perspective, Game Pass is a subscription services that cost $9.99 or $15. How do you combat that, right? The only way you can combat is free to play, F2P, because it's free, right? And already by Microsoft introducing the subscription services into the market, it is affecting the trajectory of Sony, because now they are currently developing 10 of them, which is going to, it's part of their strategy to combat subscription services, because in one hand you have a subscription services, you have 300 games that you are going to be paying. On the other hand, they're going to offer free to play, and every single time F2P is going to trump subscription services, and I think that's why they're heavily involved in it. I'm not particularly happy about it because I do believe that PlayStation or Sony should be doing what they do best in delivering industry-leading experiences, single player. But we are currently in a different shifting condition, and to smother gaming subscription services before it even lifts off the ground, PlayStation, what they're going to do is they're going to offer F2P, and if they do it successfully, you would be lucky to get 40 million, 50 million on a subscription services, and that thing is going to die faster than under a decade. So that's my position in regards to the Adams.
Hey, can I add something to that real quick too?
Yeah.
On that theory, on that thought. I mean, what Sony actually said was is they said that they're gonna do service games, right? Game as a service, which doesn't necessarily mean free to play. But let me throw some nuggets in there for you. MLB The Show is a service game, right? It's games as a service, not necessarily free. You don't gotta be free to be games as a service. If you don't believe me, look at PUBG. Look at Destiny. Before that went free to play. But also think and remember that EA is about to lose licenses on a lot of sports games, and Sony might be trying to get into that. They might be like, okay, fuck it, we're gonna start since we got baseball and we got MLB. We came up with this contract with MLB, and we have an MLB pay for publishing for the Xbox and the Nintendo version. We can start making soccer games. We can start making football games. We can start doing this shit and have the NFL do the same thing. They'll trust our shit because we bring the highest quality, and then we can come and bring our shit and then basically take the spots and go up against NBA 2K, go up against Madden, go up against FIFA. They could do whatever. That can be part of their plan as well. When they say they're gonna bring 10 game as a service games, shit, that could be MLB The Show. And in 4 years, that's 4 MLB The Shows right there. So it's like don't. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I mean, I know that they're gonna do free to play. I know The Last of Us is one of them. I know that whatever Ghost of Tsushima, they plan to expand on the multiplayer on that shit. They're actually hiring for that too. So no, I get what you're saying, but I think it's more eggs out there to be reached at and look at. You know what I'm saying? Because the service market is about to open. These licensed games, these licensed contractors like MLB and them are trying to get into gaming deeper than what they are. And I think that NFL was a little bit tired of Madden being just Madden. Madden had already passed away. So nigga, 90% of they motherfucking players don't even know what the fuck Madden is. So I think that yeah, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that there's a lot of different angles.
It's more angles than just that one. Now, I personally think, and this is coming to a close with this show. I personally think, in terms of what the Adam dude said, I wouldn't say it's fear mongering, but it's definitely some bad blood when it comes to service type things and shows and big corporations for him. Where he's wrong at is that he insinuates that Sony doesn't have the IPs to combat this. And it's like, that's one of the reasons why PlayStation is successful as it is, and how so many people have so much passion for it not to go anywhere the hell else. You know what I mean? So the IPs matter for sure. For sure, it matters. You know what I mean? And on top of it, there's been corporations that will gobble things up and still fail. Just because you can buy something doesn't mean that you have a stranglehold on things and everybody's going to go that particular way. You know what I mean? Like, you can be the leader of a market and crash it, just like what Atari did. And somebody had to inject quality into the fucking space before it mattered, before it actually mattered. As long as quality is held up, quality will always eventually reign. I'm going to go to Knight, and then I'm going to go to Boycott, and I think I'm going to wrap it up. What's going on, Knight?
Yeah, what's going on, man? That seafood was something else, though, man. I didn't like that.
Yo, I ain't buying that shit just yet, man. I got to finish the games that I have on my fucking plate, yo. I got to be better than this.
You got to get it, though, man. You got to get it.
No, absolutely. I can't have. I don't want to look at the backlog. I don't want to look at it. That's what it really boils down to.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
I open up. I was like, let me try to see what Dying Light 1 looks like, and then I saw a fucking page after page after page of games. I was like, oh man, see, this is a shit. Don't get it wrong. I finished a lot of them. It's just that I haven't finished Kana. What's the other shit again?
I got finished Kana too, man.
Man, I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with it, but Kana be requiring you to use your fucking brain. I'm like, bro, like, I just came from work right now. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered right now. Yeah, what you gotta say about all this, man? I know that you favor Xbox, but you are a reasonable motherfucker, yo. I'll tell you that.
What about what, the exclusive thing, or
just this topic, in terms of acquisitions. There's been some rhetoric about acquisitions, like it's different when Microsoft does it than anyone else. That's what's been going on. I was like,
no,
I know they say it's the same.
I would say that it's the same in a way. I mean, why should they be different just because if they both buying up everything, they both gonna buy up everything. That's just the way it is.
Because all they're really trying to do is to bolster whatever they have under their roster. But here's the thing though. What Microsoft is trying to do is to strengthen their Game Pass or just them being in the gaming space. But
Right.
the way that they're doing it is like, fuck it. I don't have time for all this shit though. Let me just cut to the chase and I'm just gonna buy this shit.
Well, the only reason why they bought Activision is for Game Pass. I mean,
exactly.
you know,
Well, Game Pass and leverage. So yeah, what Sony is doing is Sony is actually trying something completely different. Really, they want to make they want to do the Disney route. That's why a lot of the shit that they do looks like Disney, like their whole splash screen and shit like that. That looks like Disney. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Sony is under different leadership than when you had Shuhei and Jack, you know, Jack Tretton and all them. You know, they's the one who bought us the exclusives. You know, I don't know what the fuck Jim Ryan. I don't know what Jim Ryan doing, but I know Shuhei the man.
I have to respect him. Yeah, I have to respect Jim Ryan. That's an old ass, smart ass motherfucking dude, yo. That is a smart ass dude, yo. I didn't want to give him that much credit.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Wait, Thrash, what'd you say? What'd you say? I gotta hear that. What'd you say?
I don't think. I think Jim Ryan is a follower more than a leader. He has some of the best talent in gaming, and he chooses to follow the route of we need help in this area, so we need to buy this instead of inventing it. I think,
but he did make the right move putting games on PC.
I think buying. Damn, nigga, do every time I talk, you gonna have to cut off and say some shit? Who is that?
Just this once.
Is that Chris Day again? God, do you like me, nigga?
I don't mean to cut you off, but like I was saying, you know, Shuhei and you know Cass around and all them before Jim Ryan, them niggas was okay. They was going at niggas nuts. You know what I mean? When PlayStation 3 fucked up, they didn't go out and buy shit. They said, "Fuck it, we're gonna double down on them exclusives," and they made you go out and buy PS3 at the end of the day.
I think y'all gotta look at this shit different. Y'all looking at it like Sony had something to do. I mean, PlayStation had something to do with this Bungie purchase, or y'all think that Xbox has something to do with the Activision purchase, man. Y'all not paying attention to Microsoft making a whole new division to insert Activision in when they already have a division of Xbox Studios. Activision isn't part of that. It's just like Bungie isn't part of PlayStation Studios. These motherfuckers are doing the same fucking shit in a different way. I don't think Call of Duty is going to Game Pass as much as y'all niggas would love it to go there.
Not in its full form, no.
I think all the old ones are going. I think that their main shift is going to be, and they've said this, is going to be the free-to-play version of it, which somebody said earlier is the opposite of what Game Pass is all about. They get that battle shit, whatever it's called, the Call of Duty, whatever it's called, that fucking mode, that free-to-play mode. It's not going to be Warzone is not going to leave PlayStation. They'll be insane if they were to ever lose money purposely for that because it's free to play. So what you going to do? You going to make it exclusive to Xbox for nobody to buy it? There would be no fucking point, right? And then they're not going to end it because it's too successful. And then they can't remove Call of Duty from that because Call of Duty, the actual premium buy, is interlocked and connected to that free to play mode. And if you sit there and you take that free to play mode and you take the premium away to where you can't help your free to play mode with your own loadouts and all that good shit, then what you're gonna do? You're gonna have people not play the free to play mode because everybody will have an advantage but PlayStation gamers. Call of Duty ain't going nowhere because it can't go nowhere. Just like Destiny can't go nowhere. These companies are trying to build their pockets up with shit that they couldn't achieve. Microsoft couldn't achieve a game like Call of Duty. PlayStation couldn't achieve a game like fucking Destiny, bro. No matter how hard they try.
Or Halo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these companies are getting lazy. That's why I don't like none of this shit because it doesn't do anything for us. Microsoft buying Activision isn't going to give any Xbox gamer a single game that they weren't already going to get. Same thing with PlayStation buying Bungie. Buying Bungie isn't going to give a single player from PlayStation a game that they weren't already going to get. So it's the same thing. Once these purchases are made, you're gonna have the same experience that you was having yesterday before they was made and announced and all that. So it's backwards to what we are talking about. That's why I got a problem with what Destin said. Is that we too busy worried about what these companies are doing and not worrying about what we're getting as a result.
That's
Niggas
what
need
I've
to
been
start
saying
thinking
since
about
day
the
one.
result. Real shit. Need to worry about the fucking results, nigga. If if the results are there, then the results are there. The result of Deathloop coming to PlayStation is the alternative was that the shit wasn't gonna exist. So there's a difference in between those things. But when you got Call of Duty, shit, Call of Duty is the reason why Xbox still exists. So them buying it didn't make a difference or a change, and it's not gonna change anything as far as our what we get from gaming. It doesn't change anything. We should be worried about our experiences, and that's it. No matter what kind of genre you like or console you have, if they're not doing, if they're making moves and they're not making those moves to give us a better experience, then what are we cheering on? Them niggas buying shit?
You know, we cheering on arguments on Twitter. Before we go
Yeah.
on, game type. Hold on. Boycott. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, none of these moves are for us, and I think that's why it's being real reductive. Like these are for casuals. All these moves is to try to get the casuals, and
They already got them though. Like I don't understand how they already there. Like the games are there already. Like what moves? Like these casuals, bro. Think about it. Casuals don't even know these purchases are being had. It's only people who are deeper in the gaming who know this shit is even going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's it gonna do for a casual? There's nothing new coming to a casual, just like there's nothing new coming to a hardcore gamers. There's nothing there. There's nothing there but them getting a new revenue stream. These companies are just gaining new revenue streams without the risk of trying to please us, the customer.
Now, I
You know
will
what I'm
say
saying?
that.
I don't mean it in the sense of giving to a casual. I'm talking about getting the casuals to come to their ecosystem or whatever.
But that's
They
the whole
already
thing.
there.
They already there. This
They
is something
already
else.
there.
My whole thing is this:
I'm talking about Microsoft in particular, though.
They're not gonna
They
make.
want the
They're not gonna
casuals.
make. They're not going to make Call
Call
of
of Duty.
Duty exclusive. They're not going to do it.
I,
That
I
means
got a
what?
I got a quick question.
It wouldn't make no sense. Go ahead.
For King Thrash, I got a question for you. So, in regards of PlayStation, you don't think that when they acquired Bungie, because Jim Ryan, I think it was Jim Ryan, he already said that they're going to help them across the board
Collaborate.
through PlayStation Studios as far
Yeah,
as the multiplayer games and shit like that.
yeah, they're
So
gonna
you don't.
collaborate.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna collaborate. Is what he said.
Right. So you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think that's a benefit for like not? Of course, it's not going to happen. We're not going to get the benefit of that right now. But as far as in the future, you don't think that would be a benefit for PlayStation gamers and the games that they could potentially make as
Well,
far as
think
the
about it.
multiplayer games?
Well, think about it like this: they're gonna come and they're gonna collaborate them to help them or tell them what to do and how they make a successful free to play game or a successful service game, right? That's what they're going to do. So their plan was already to make these service games. They were already hiring for these service games. So we were already going to get them trash or not. So it all depends on if you like service games. But
Yeah,
them
but and
buying Bungie,
I get that, but what I'm saying is that just because I get it, if they were going to make them, they were going to make them. But the thing is, just because they were going to make them doesn't mean they were going to be good. They could potentially be a lot better because of Bungie.
oh, they
I
could be.
think I don't know
Oh,
who said
definitely.
this. I don't know who said this earlier, but when it comes to games as a service, it is. I think it was oh shit. I think it was Rec. When it comes to games as a service, that's probably the way of the future, man. Because it's just endless and endless and endless. You need to cover your bases. If you don't like a Destiny type game, why don't you make a realistic looking one? Or if you don't like a realistic one, why don't you make a samurai one? And it'll have revenue streams for all of them little fucking pockets of people or demographics. That's what they're trying to do. And I don't know if you guys read the shit about Destiny. Destiny is trying to move into the media space in terms of
Yeah, they
like
trying to make like
TVs and shit
movies
like
and
that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah, I seen
they're
that.
You know what
helping
I'm
turn it
saying?
into
So
multimedia.
that's there was a lot of shit going on. Now Umar says from YouTube, which again I'll say this: I have a Gamecast. It's called Gamecast on YouTube. This video will be archived on there if you want to hear that fuckery from earlier. But in terms of Kasserai and Andrew House, man, they were stuck in a very localized way of thinking. And that's not going to help, especially with the pandemic and how the world has changed. It's just not sustainable to keep everything exclusive like it was before. Something has to give. And we're going to start seeing how bad the pandemic is fucking things up. And you got to be a future thinker. I think that's why Sean Layton didn't get the cut. And that's why, what's his name? I think because that's what I'm saying. It was who was better, Sean Layton and what he has for a vision, or it was Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan won because the way that he designed this shit is beyond PlayStation, not just putting games on other things. They're trying to they just made an Uncharted movie. There's going to be a Horizon movie as well. They're trying to expand it so far, and who knows? It's probably going. Huh?
It's gonna be a Destiny movie too. Watch.
It's going to be a Destiny movie or whatever the hell they're making.
Yeah, for sure.
They are not stopping at just PlayStation. And on top of it, I don't know if you peeped it, but Sony's been killing it with their OSTs and music. Some of their shit for their games are fire, and they trying to get out there too. What if a movie studio was like, "Yo, what?"
Nigga, think something like Uncharted, an Uncharted anime, or because they got their hands in anime deep too, so they can. I noticed Sony is putting their hands in all type of media. They see that they got the #1 media entertainment shit, but they're putting their hands in other shit. Like with PlayStation View, they was trying to see, okay, how can we do this cable shit? How can we get our shit into that? Now they got The Last of Us coming out on HBO, on top of having the Uncharted movie, on top of having their little hands inside of fucking Spider-Man, which also got them a lot of contacts. You see the same nigga who playing Spider-Man is the same nigga who playing Drake for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
People,
so they got
wait. Pause. People think that shit is for no reason. They could have found anybody that looked like Drake, but they picked him because of his popularity. And people, it was the way that this Jim Ryan nigga is thinking, and I'm not saying that it's good, it's very fascinating to me on how it is. Everything that Sony has been doing has been extremely strategic. None of the shit that they're doing is haphazard. You know what I'm saying? It's not like happen chance. You can see that they have like a road. They have a clear roadmap as to what they're trying to do.
You selling Sean Layton too short though, because a lot of this shit was actually Sean Layton's vision. You don't remember what he said?
Oh no, I'm not trying to sell him short. It's just that I think Jim was way more aggressive.
He was more worldwide.
Yeah, it was aggressive because he did. Here's the thing: they may have a little idea about putting games on different things, but Jim Ryan was like, "Yo, I'm trying to think way bigger than that shit, like bigger even still." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was. He was in charge of Sony Europe, right? Or Europe.
And he turned that shit completely around.
No, he did. But then he was also the boss of Sony's worldwide something. He had 2 positions.
He got that a little later after he got the Europe one, and then he got that one. Yeah, I remember.
Worldwide, he had both of them at the same time. So that second worldwide job is exactly what Sony is doing right now. Is that they're trying to spread their shit out and get more prominent worldwide.
And homogenous. Like they want a certain type of view. Like they want. Yeah.
They need a Japanese motherfucker to go fix that situation because I don't know how the fuck they fell off Japan so much, but they really did.
Well,
hey,
here's the thing.
I got a question for both of y'all. So, do y'all think that Sony can be successful with what they're doing, what they've always done as far as like the single player games and stuff like that?
Yeah,
that's
right.
At the same time.
It's not that they can do, it's that they have to be. They can't afford to do it the way Microsoft want gaming to go.
They can't do it anymore.
All these big companies, they can't afford to do it that way.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, do you think they can be successful at both?
Absolutely.
Anybody in here who plays PlayStation games, are you gonna stop buying PlayStation games because there's a service out there? Nah, we still gonna niggas.
You may even try it. You may even fucking try it.
I was just asking because you got a lot of people that think that because Sony is making multiplayer games that the quality is gonna go down.
No, here's the thing. That's why they're hiring. They are hiring a shit ton of people. So you got to understand
And that's what I was.
putting their
That was another.
they're
That's
putting
what
their
I was talking
pieces.
about with the Bungie acquisition.
Yeah, they're putting their pieces in play on the table in terms of where they want what to happen. The thing is, they have a cell phone situation going on too. Not the actual cell phone, but the cell phone division. They have that specific as well. I was thinking to myself, right, like the Horizon. They're actually advertising Horizon as if that bitch was Spider-Man. She's in subways and not boat subways and buses at this point in time. They got a lot of faith in this particular thing. So you know a movie's going to follow up. But more importantly, could you guys imagine if Sony decided to go the Pokemon route?
That's true.
Now I know this is a little fanboy. This is the fanboy. This is the fanboy portion of me. Now I do like Pokemon fine, but think about it. If they use a Horizon universe, right? But you know the machines that you have different machines and shit like that. Like you battle the two different machines, a fucking Claw Strider with a fucking Watcher or some shit like that. It'd be like a Pokemon type thing, you know.
Nah, it's not.
I want that shit on PC. On PC, I want it.
It's not
PC,
enough,
not PC, not phone.
Even on phones, it's not cute enough, my nigga. Now, have you
that
seen
That Watcher's adorable, yo. And then they had the little Loch Ness. I want to pinch his cheeks.
Answer me this question, dog. How many bitches would lay Pikachu on her titties, my nigga? How many?
This nigga, shut
I'm
up.
Just saying, like, it's all about the bitches. They're not gonna lay. How many of them bitches gonna lay when them robots on their titties, my nigga?
Shut up, yo, shut up, but facts though. Shut up, but facts though.
Be cute for that kind of market, man. Gotta be.
You gotta
women
be.
run that market, bro. Like people don't realize that men are the least niggas because we follow too much. We act like we leaders, but we follow the pussy everywhere it go. And then on top of that, if we're not following pussy,
that's just you, bro. That is just you.
No. These are facts. These are known girl facts, nigga. Music always sold through women, bro. Niggas would buy the music that women like to listen to. Niggas would open their club up and make women free because they'd love to come in there and dance to that club music. And niggas would come follow the bitches, my nigga. It's just always what it is. Why you think
men buy the music that women listen to?
No, nigga, you ain't been paying attention, my nigga. Like,
ain't nobody trying to fuck to fucking Biggie Smalls and shit like that. You gonna play some fucking.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Think about it like this, dog. Like I used to work for Coke, and you would never believe it, dog. But just think about why Coke is so successful. It's because they patent the Coke bottle shape. What do they say about women? Ooh, do she got that Coke bottle shape? That used to be the thing back in the day, dog. Like niggas follow wherever the women go, bro. Women are important to money as much as children are. That's why Pixar was selling more motherfucking movies than X-Men movies and shit like that. Because movies live forever. That's why nigga, who you think is buying Animal Crossing, my nigga? Who? Nigga,
it's a lot. Look, I'm gonna say this.
In history, who you think buying it?
I'm gonna say this. If life was an RPG, men are weak to women and women are weak to children.
Nigga. Look at Twitch. Look no further than Twitch, my nigga. Look no further than that. Come on, dog. I mean, that's just the fact of the reality. I mean, these companies see this shit. Why do you think Twitch ain't banning these bitches, but they'll ban a nigga just for saying nigga, but won't ban a bitch for accidentally having a dildo in her pussy or some shit? You know what I'm saying? They give her 2 days off.
I like slap on the wrist. You look. Think about what you did. Think about what you did for 24 hours.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you really gotta look at that whole situation, like, right? You can't tell me you haven't noticed all of these women on Twitter and shit. I'm not saying Stone. I know Stone game. I gained with Stone. I'm not talking about her or any like. Have you noticed there's a lot of women on Twitter nowadays having a console war gaming conversation? Have you noticed that shit? Or even just like showing they show their feet and they over there standing up and shit and they in their fucking bed and they play, oh, I'm playing this game or this game is good or I just beat this. You ain't noticed that shit? Come on, dog. Like, please. You ain't noticed Sony sending them niggas controllers? Please.
That's why you starting to see the female leads and all sorts of shit like that. So again, look.
So again, do y'all think that like all these little multiplayer games that Sony's trying to make or whatever, y'all think any of them are going to be like a huge success? Because
Well,
Sony hasn't really had that as far as multiplayer games go.
this is what I forgot who said this. It was like I
But
think it
they
was
haven't really tried
Silky.
either.
I think it was Silky that said this. There's like an 80. It was an 80-20 rule or something like that. I forgot who it was. Say something if you're still in here. But like they are expecting failure, but they need one of them bitches to land. Just
But
one.
and here's the thing, and I like I said, they haven't had that success as far as multiplayer games go. But to me, they haven't really tried to like they don't try like they do with like single player games. If they put that same type of effort in as far as like marketing, budget, all that, the right
I don't think it's a try though. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think it's a try because they did. They put a
No,
lot
but
of.
they really haven't. Think about all the multiplayer games they've come out with, right?
They
And
did
think about
everything that they
how
possibly.
many of those games, do they really push and that they really
They
market?
don't push it anymore because of the amount of money that they lost. None of them landed. That's
What
the
games did
thing.
they? What games did they know? Because I know a lot of people that play like
This
a
was this was
retarded.
this was look. This was fucking what do you call it? PS3. This was the PS3 thing. The biggest thing that they had was SOCOM, and they fumbled the ball with that one. When they made SOCOM 3, they fucked up that whole franchise basically, right? In terms of, are you talking about pushing it marketing wise, pushing it?
Yeah, I'm talking about that, and I'm talking about as far as like critically acclaimed multiplayer games.
The Last of Us was critically acclaimed multiplayer.
But here's the
Uncharted
thing.
was critically acclaimed. Killzone was critically
But listen
acclaimed.
to what I'm saying though. Those aren't huge multiplayer games though.
Whose fault is that though?
It's Sony's.
Sony's.
It's
Because they
Sony's
don't
fault.
market
But
it. How
why?
often did they market? How
No
often did they
The
market
factions
thing,
in
the
Last of Us
Uncharted
2,
multiplayer?
Uncharted multiplayer canceled. What is this bullshit?
the thing about the thing about Sony, right, is they do not know how to market these games. They make very sound, competent multiplayer games and don't fucking know how to do it. Is why they
That was
bought
my
the
point.
They
motherfuckers.
don't support
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Well,
They don't.
No,
They
you
most
don't
can't say that they
support.
don't support it when they have the fucking Killzone and all the other servers for fucking almost a decade running. So they
Yeah,
do
Warzone.
support it.
That's
They
not
had
what we're talking
Warhawk.
about though.
That's done.
We're talking about pushing and marketing your game. They don't do that. They don't
But
do it to the
but
same
here's the
level that they
thing.
do
I
their single player
I
games.
do a little bit of music. Just because you can push something, don't mean that it's going to be successful. Microsoft pushed.
That's not what I'm saying though. But
Then what are
it's
you
not going to be
saying
successful
exactly?
if you don't push it either. If you don't support it and you don't push it,
But
it's like what they
again,
did
if
with
you
Avita.
Okay, look.
it's a catch 22 with the
No, it isn't.
situation, right? The
Uncharted
catch
4 and Lost Legacy share the same multiplayer, yes?
the catch 22 is that when you don't know if it's going to be successful,
Bro.
you may just sink a whole bunch of fucking money into it. They are afraid and they don't know how to
Uncharted
do it.
multiplayer was great.
Most of their
great. It was good.
most of their multiplayer games were great. No one's disputing that. They are
So where
very
is it?
highly.
Why isn't it
Huh?
in the new one? Why isn't it in the new one?
Why is what and where? What? Why?
So Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy shared the exact same multiplayer, yes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
why is it not in a new game?
Yes, why isn't it in the remaster?
Does it have to be in a new remaster?
Yes, it does. Those two games that they fucking remastered
It
share
already
the exact
exists.
same
It already
multiplayer
exists, though. It already exists.
on the PS4 with lower fucking frame rate, lower graphics.
The game is at this point in time. You have a window of opportunity to do certain things.
Well, I
So
think another reason
to revive an old game that
don't revive it, just
wasn't even
include
doing
it in here.
anything.
They already have it up and running. Just
So
include it in
what
here.
they're going to do? But there's labor to that, and it's not the juice isn't worth the squeeze to do it. The game is not relevant
I
enough.
was gonna piggyback off of what Gamecast said. I think
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
I think one of the main reasons why is, first of all, they're working on 3 other IPs right now.
Yeah, but
And
how
also,
hard is the squeeze? It's just porting that multiplayer over.
To them, it ain't worth the squeeze. That's what. That's the end of it. I don't know what else to say about it. They don't think it's worth it. That's what they deem.
I think one of the another main reason why is because they're also working on factions too. So their focus is on that as far as multiplayer games. They're not going to go back and
go work on an old game. Like
exactly.
realistic. Hold on, wait, hold on. Realistically, how many players would they acquire with a 17 million user base?
Well, it's going to be
And
on
the game
PC
is
as well.
But
So
but
no.
but but
the
hold on.
multiplayer is not that deep
But here's the
anymore.
thing.
So
It was already dying. So how much
exactly.
more people would they have gotten if they done that?
The people on PC marketing the multiplayer properly, maybe adding a new map or two.
They and for them, that's why they got Bungie in this bitch. Because
And
again,
that was my point.
they're
I
not
think
trying to haphazardly just throw shit out anywhere. Because if you start doing that, you cause bad blood. That's just what it is.
right.
No, you
Hey,
don't.
and
You
I'll
pick up
say
one
this
players on
too.
PC and
I'll say
PS5.
this real quick. I think when Factions 2 comes out, I think this will be the biggest that Sony has ever pushed and marketed a multiplayer game that they've ever done. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna just leave it at that. I think that's
You
gonna
know,
be
you
the
know
biggest
why?
multiplayer game that they've ever done.
You know why? People keep saying that The Last of Us 2 was incomplete, bro. You know how easily the what's their name? Naughty Dog could have just put factions on Last of Us 2.
The same
It's not
factions
that
too.
anymore.
What
It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
what
not
better
that anymore. That
factions with
faction's
better graphics.
gone.
It
Yeah,
could have
that
been
Yeah,
faction
factions
is
with better
I
gone.
think
graphics.
Factions 2 is gonna be huge, man.
Well,
It's gonna be totally
we
different.
had leaks. We had leaks about what type of game it was going to be, which it seems like it's going to be some sort of battle royale thing. I don't know. Whatever it is bigger than the original one. I'm not saying if it's good or bad. I'm just saying what those leaks were. But Sony is trying. Look, think of it like this: if you and Sony is they are notorious for putting things out halfway. They were notorious for doing that. They all have great fucking ideas, and the ideas will be so undercooked. And you're like, and then it leaves a bad taste in people's fucking mouths. They be like, I mean, do you even support it or whatever the case is? So what they're planning on doing in terms of putting shit on PC, whatever the case is, which I believe Thrash could agree with, they're probably going to put it on PC and make sure that it's good with the help of with Bungie and how they was going to do the roadmap of the thing. They want to make sure if they're going to put something out, because again, people know Sony because of a certain quality, so they can't fuck up with the multiplayer. This big push, they just can't. Like a lot of the things they pushed the shit out of. They pushed the shit out of SOCOM. They pushed the free online on PS3. They pushed Killzone. They pushed Resistance, and it's fucking 8-player co-op, and it's 60-player games. They did all that shit, all of it,
And they stopped
and
doing it.
it didn't sell.
Warhawk.
Just
But
the same. The Warhawk was not Warhawk. People picked that shit up as it was cheap, and then they found out it was good, and then it didn't even blow up. It just basically stayed that little cul-de-sac of people. That's what ended up happening. Truthfully,
Hey, and I think people forget that. I ain't gonna lie. Sony's IPs have never sold like they are right now. Like back in
never,
the day. Never.
never.
This is the most like in the PS3 era, bro. Their IPs was not selling like that, like they are now. Not even close.
That's
Like your
because the
God of
PS3
Wars.
itself wasn't popular.
I mean, God of War was popular.
The Last of Us sold, I think, 10 million on the PS3 because they over time they got their quality up, and God of War sold God of War numbers, which was about 5-6 million. But that was about as good as it got. Jack and Dexter sold 3 million, 4 million. That shit
Yeah,
was packaged in.
it's completely
None of
changed
their
now.
games because they weren't known for it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't like where it is now. Now that they've doubled down and they created this quality narrative, right? People are looking at it and it is quality. Some of these games look fucking crazy. Like what is it? Horizon looks insane. Even now, a 5-year-old game, it looks ridiculous.
oh yeah,
Okay,
one
so
last
with the
thing.
PS4, yeah, go
One
on.
last thing about the Adam Conover thing. Don't be too surprised at any backlash. Like, yo, this happens in every industry, bro. You know what this happened? This happened in sports. When Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors, everybody was outraged. It's the same thing. It's being reductive to call Adam Conover a Sony fanboy. Who the hell is Adam Conover for all of a sudden everybody knows he's a Sony fanboy, right? This is the type of outrage you get when you buy talent or buy IP or whatever the case may be, instead of it being grass fed grown from your ecosystem. You know what I mean? People are gonna be mad, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not discounting anybody's argument. Some people who are more in favor of Xbox's way, some of them are right, some of them are right on the other side, whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, but like if you look at the PS3 era, what happened was I personally got a 360 because the PS3 was not a great system. And when Xbox started doing stupid shit, I went and got a PS4 like millions of other people. That's part of the reasons their games sold more is because they were able to build a bigger install base on the backs of Microsoft's mistake. That was the difference. Which is why, if they wanted to have good multiplayer, they could have done it. They could have supported it. But if they don't, that's not because of a low ranking consumer. It's because they've just gone in a different direction. That's their fault.
The problem here is that you can throw a lot of money at something and it still fail. And Sony doesn't have infinite pockets, and they were hurting at that time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but the multiplayer was already done. That's what I'm getting at. There's nothing to do. You just
You're
port it.
saying, do you know how much do you support it in what way?
Just port the multiplayer over to the PS5.
It's not
Keep the
going
server
to
running.
do that much money. That's
Bro,
the point.
they're not doing that with Uncharted, but you might as
They're
well
not
just
going to
give that
do it
up.
when Uncharted because the user base for the multiplayer was never that big. They're not going to do it because it doesn't make
The push that you're wanting for Uncharted, they're gonna do with the factions. That's what they're gonna do.
Okay, we'll see about that.
I'm telling you, watch.
No, but I understand that. What I'm saying though is how long are they going to support that for? When the multiplayer dies for that one, are they just going to give up on it too? Because another reason Uncharted's multiplayer went lower is because they stopped supporting the game after what, like 5-6 months of content?
No, they
They
gave
did
it out
like 3
free
map packs?
eventually. They gave it out free on PlayStation Plus.
Exactly.
And
So that's what I'm saying.
then yeah, when new people came in, they had content for them.
And with multiplayer games, like single player games, you could beat it, pass the disc to your friend. If you have a multiplayer game and it's fun, you want your friends to play with you, so you get them to buy it as well. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think that's where Bungie comes in. They've been supporting Destiny for how long? I think that's part of the strategy in buying Bungie. Is the
Yeah, like
support.
Call of Duty games do not sell because they're campaign. Halo doesn't sell because of its campaign. Neither does Battlefield.
I got kicked out. I'm sorry. Say it. What were you saying?
Now he was saying that how long is Sony gonna support these new multiplayers, and I was saying that that's where Bungie comes in.
Well, Bungie. Okay.
I was going to say Sony is known to keep a lot of the services active for a very long time. You know, so I mean, a lot of these games didn't even sell that well. They probably got like fucking 4,000 people online. Killzone Shadowfall is still online, and the servers don't support it. Really, you know, but
even if the game doesn't sell well, if there's 4,000 people playing, you still keep the servers up, and you just lower the number of servers.
That is a dumb business decision.
No,
it is.
You lower the number of servers
It's
being
not
dedicated
about just
to it.
lowering the number of servers. They don't want to waste any fucking money. No company wants to waste money unless they're Microsoft that has an infinite amount of money, because they're doing it for a different reason. They're doing it to disrupt the environment, and keep themselves their names in there. Sony does not have that kind of money to be just any little penny fucking counts. They're not going to do it. They're doing it to save face with the Killzone thing because they have nothing at the moment. There's nothing really, you know. But
well, that's the problem. Like, as a multiplayer fan, why would anybody want to buy a Sony console then and invest in their games when the servers could be shut down or unsupported at any point?
Hence the reason why they purchased Bungie.
Okay,
I mean,
we'll see how it does.
Is Bleeding Edge being supported very well right now?
Well, like for example, you see Halo 3 servers just got shut down.
But is it though? Is Bleeding Edge being supported?
I have no idea what Bleeding Edge does or doesn't do. I don't have that game.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't heard any updates for it, anything like that.
You said that you have a PS5, right? You have a PC. I take it you have a PC as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a PC. I have a PS5. After PS4, I went to PC. PS5, like all my friends, I built them a PC. We kept one PS5 around to like pass around for whatever exclusive games they want to play. But what I was going to say was, so Halo 3 servers, for example, just went down 2 months ago. But Microsoft did release the Master Chief Collection with the multiplayer for each of the games. And that's going to be running for a long time.
Because
and
Halo is known for multiplayer, implicitly known for that. Uncharted isn't.
Well, it
That's
could
one
be
of
if
the big.
No, but
That's their
they,
biggest franchise.
but it's not though. It's not. It could be, but it's not. So that's why.
That's their
So
biggest
that's why.
that's on
franchise.
Sony
So that's why.
defense.
That's why they're not putting the money into it because they're not known for it, and nor is that their franchise. It's supplemental. Whatever it is that they have is supplemental, and Sony is trying to get out of that, and they want to make sure that that it works. That's what they want to make sure.
I don't think most companies invest in a failing multiplayer. EA, Activision, Xbox.
What was it?
I mean, maybe Bleeding Edge.
What was it?
Maybe Bleeding
Paladins?
Edge is being supported.
Was it
Maybe it
Paladins or
is.
something? I forgot which game that was a game that EA shut the fuck down or Activision. I forgot which one it was. No, it was Epic. It was Epic. It was Epic Games. Before when they started getting that Fortnite money, they shut a lot of games down and doubled down on Fortnite. So it's not out of
Look
that.
at Activision. Activision put all their resources in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Most companies don't support it.
Yeah.
I think that's just now. I think if you're a multiplayer fan, you gotta wait and see how successful Sony is if you want to invest in their ecosystem at all.
And plus,
they just haven't done it.
And plus, Sony didn't want to cannibalize on the stuff that were already popular. That's one of the reasons why Nintendo is a terrible platform for third-party people. A lot of the games.
No, Nintendo's a terrible platform because it's weak. It's super weak.
I mean, one of many issues, but they're a terrible platform because when it comes to third party, because their games cannibalize their whole network essentially. Like if you can't, or their whole store, you can't put something on there. It gets swallowed up by fucking Nintendo shit. And that's why Sony strategically releases their games in the beginning of the year versus the end. They typically don't ever put their games at the end of the year. They'll let the third party get some breathing room from them.
Okay, fair enough. But here's one thing you guys missed. I wanted to see if anybody else here would catch it. So you said there's no point in putting a multiplayer in because you have to pay for the server costs and everything, right? Server costs.
No, I said the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The squeeze itself.
But I could get a drop of fucking orange juice with all that effort. I got the orange juice, but it's a drop. It is not worth me doing all that.
Hold on. Do you think
what is all that though? What is the squeeze?
Huh?
Do you think porting is just burning the game to a DVD and then putting it in a PC? Do you think that's what porting is?
No. That's not what porting is. I'm saying when they made the game, the multiplayer was already set up. All they had to do was port one multiplayer mode that the both games shared and put it with the new Uncharted game. Now, as far as the juice being worth the squeeze,
do you develop games?
Yeah. I even mod them and code them.
You do okay. So you mod. So if you know this, then the answer was already. You already know the answer.
Yeah, which is why I'm telling you it's not that hard.
The answer is you're saying it's not that hard, and if that's the case, no, you're being disingenuous again.
Let me read something for you from a developer. Let me read
building multiplayer.
Go on. Read what the developer said.
So, as Disparity Games co-founder Jason Stark points out, gamers ask, why can't they just release the version they develop with? This is talking about porting from PC, from a dev kit to a PC or back and forth. Then, when developers do release that and it's a buggy mess, they ask, why are developers so lazy? Well, says Spark, it's because they released what they had. When you port your game, you're essentially creating a unique version of it. This means every platform a developer decides to launch on effectively multiplies their present and future workload. When you launch on multiple platforms, your ability to react to suggestions or complaints slows. You have to test updates and patches on every platform you support before release. You're constantly ensuring something you did to improve one version doesn't break the other. And after all that, you still need to go through the arcane series of checks and balances console manufacturers require. This is just talking about single player. Multiplayer is even worse. Well, he did mention multiplayer a little bit.
He mentioned the way that he claims is that he's a developer, or not a developer, he programs, right? And that it's very easy for you to move it from a fixed platform to a platform that has so many moving parts and so many different configurations. It's just that easy, and nothing can go wrong in between each configuration, which this is why I'm saying that you're being disingenuous. I don't want to have the conversation. I just don't. I don't. It's not. It's not. No, I'm not missing the point. It's clear
It's
for
one
everybody
thing to
that's in here.
create a multiplayer from the ground up. I understand that. It's
It
another when
doesn't
you already
matter.
have one built.
The developers clearly stated that anytime you make a code, you have to create it for that platform.
Yep.
Essentially, it's a new fucking thing. Just because you have art assets doesn't mean that you it's that much easier. You just have the art assets that you need to port over. There's level of detail configurations. There's a
Yep.
whole bunch of other fucking things that they do.
Which they already took care of in the engine.
This is why no, it's not a plug and play. Sorry, because that's
I'm not saying it's plug and play. I'm saying it's a lot easier than you're making it sound.
that's why a 4-year-old game was lagging and had a whole bunch of fucking issues, which I'm talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. If it was so fucking easy, then that would have never happened.
Cyberpunk.
No, the difference
Cyberpunk.
within Cyberpunk.
It could be
That's because they were
Cyberpunk. It could be anything. It could be
But
anything. You move
The
anything
issue
to the
with
PC.
Cyberpunk was that the PS4 and Xbox One were way too weak to support that game.
So that's why I mentioned Horizon.
They said if they had some power, they could have made it.
This is why I mentioned Horizon, because this is the perfect opportunity to say that it's an old ass fucking game and they could have just simply just ported it over, and it didn't work that way, did it? It didn't work that way. You had all the art assets and everything that came along with it. They didn't even add extra texture details or nothing. They just ported it on and it didn't work well.
Okay. Is Uncharted working well right now?
We don't have to. It didn't release. It doesn't matter what any other game did. My point stands.
I'm talking about Uncharted. Horizon doesn't have a multiplayer.
My point stands that it's not easy to move game code for one platform, which is fixed, to another one, which isn't fixed. That's the end of the discussion, regardless of what you say. I don't know you from a can of paint. I don't know if you actually program or not. I know I did. And I know it ain't that fucking easy.
It's a lot easier than having to build a multiplayer mode from the ground up.
Well, then how come Horizon, which is a single player game, failed? How come that didn't work well?
Because they were porting it.
What went wrong exactly since you programmed? What went wrong?
Because they were working with a different platform, which is the PC, which has CUDA cores and other ways of processing, as opposed to an internal console that the company and all its studios already have access to.
All right, so then you answer your own question. So thank you guys. Thank you guys I really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to play some games tonight.
Okay.
I got a ton of games to play, and I'm thinking about downloading Seafood. I really appreciate it. Normally I do the shit on Saturday, but if you were here at the beginning of this podcast, shit went down Saturday, and there's that. I really appreciate it. I have a YouTube channel, and that's pretty much all that I have here. I think what's his name? He jumped in there. Let me see. Game Type jumped in there. Oh, he going? He probably disappeared. Peace out, guys. I thank you, Rec, Knight, Omo, Chris, Jay, Boycott, Game Tight is in here, Magnificent Black, Nelson, Mr. Mine, DK, Sea Dog, Sigenus, I can't pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Hector, Philip, Stone, all of you guys. There's a lot of people in here, so I really appreciate it. I hope